with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Every election campaign is full of old talk and grand promises. Let history be your guide. Is who likely to better perform in government? Election is not about choosing perfect. They are about choosing the best one offer. Vote competent. Vote the NNP.
Building a stronger economy means all Grenadian workers benefit, those who work in the public service and those who work elsewhere. Now that the period of shared sacrifices is over, the benefits must be shared among every Grenadian. More money for house repair, more money to improve healthcare, more money for training, more money for education, and yes, more money for public servants. $55 million in various payments. We are the Grenadian family looking out for each other. And even as we fight for ourselves and our families, we always remember our neighbors. We forge ahead together.
We got to come together, learn to love your brother.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, $70 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Between 2014 and 2017, $185 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. Between 2008 to 2013, the economy regressed every year. Between 2014 to 2017, the economy grew every year. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
Water, Earth's purest life-sustaining resource, can easily become contaminated by environmental conditions. NAWASA continues to improve the quality of its water supply through state-of-the-art water treatment systems and trained, experienced staff. NAWASA preserves our health and quality of life. NAWASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
5 years ago, we started an incredible journey together. We dreamed and we strove to achieve. We are happy with the success we have had, but not content. The arch of progress is bending in the right direction in St. George Northeast, and many people have benefited. But there are still others that are yet to be lifted by the rising tide. We cannot leave those people behind, and so we continue to fight, and we continue to push on. I am Tobias Clement, and I'm running again to continue what we have started. Our dreams are too big, our ambitions too large for us to stop here. So let's keep moving.
Every election campaign is full of old talk and grand promises. Let history be your guide. Is who likely to better perform in government. Election is not about choosing perfect. They are about choosing the best one offer. Vote competent. Vote the NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. Between 2008 to 2013, the economy regressed every year. Between 2014 to 2017, the economy grew every year. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, $70 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Between 2014 and 2017, $185 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
I am Kendra Matthew Stewart, and I am honored to have answered the call for service. The people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique are dear to my heart. I have grown up in a time of expanded opportunities, showcased by the fact that I have had the fortune to study and become a professional. There are many young people who seek the opportunity that I have had, and I want to be a part of that movement that helped open up new doors. It is the aspiration of ordinary people that inspire this new journey of mine. As my generation rises up to service, you can surely count me in. I am Kendra Matthew Stewart, and I am running for you, the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Keep moving!
Moses, and I have offered myself to be the next parliamentary representative for my people of St. Patrick's East. I see this as the next step in my life journey of service to people and my determination to give back to my community, a community that has always lifted me up. I am particularly passionate about issues affecting youth, and as your MP, will be championing policies and programs that will further empower our young people, as well as our adult male and females all across Grenada, but particularly in St. Patrick's East. I am pleased to have joined a team that has delivered for Grenada. But there is more work to be done, and so we shall keep moving.
I have been afforded the greatest honor to have been able to serve the people of St. Mark faithfully this past years. Every day I get up with the same enthusiasm to go to work for you. Today I still have that passion, and tomorrow I look forward to fighting for you again. We are happy to have made a difference in the lives of so many people. But we appreciate that it is a never-ending struggle. Whatever progress we have made, we shall never be satisfied. And that's why I am coming back to you for your support again. We have done a lot, but we still have more to do. Therefore, in St. Mark, we shall continue to keep moving.
Every election campaign is full of old talk and grand promises. Let history be your guide. Is who likely to better perform in government. Election is not about choosing perfect. They are about choosing the best one offer. Vote competent. Vote the NNP.
Tap the screen, show them what it's all about. Licking natty and turn last night I drink the rum and I falling down, but I know this morning I waking up. I'm telling you, I drink the rum last night and I falling down. Now I'm thanking God for waking me up. I'm waking up. And if you're mass over there, over there, if I'm a friend them over there, over there, if I got them over there, over there, if you're job over there, tell me over there, come to mass man and top strikers. Tell you that we all over. Tell you man a survivor.
Yeah, it's hard talk, don't worry, we here. We are giving up. But you can't go to St. David without paying respect to the guys from St. David, man. Yeah, Devon is in studio this morning. Say good morning, Devon.
Good morning, Grenada.
Can't help it.
I
can't help it.
I'm standing jumping up. I'm in front of them in the crowd. I would be a bad load. Nobody tell me nothing. They got me floating. Just do anything. Cause last night I pull your phone. Tap the screen. Show them what it's all about. Licking natty and turn on again. Last night I drink the rum and I falling down, but I know this morning now.
Yes, folks, it's going to be in Latan Junction later. It's going to be the endorsement of the Honorable Oliver Joseph. The new National Party at it once again. You must touch the St. David's man tune if you're going in St. David. And you can't go in St. David and don't touch the anthem. From 6 p.m. Don't let nobody tell you it's next week Sunday and all kind of thing. Don't let nobody get no kind of talk about it later in the week or Karakou we going. No,
it's today.
Next week Sunday, Bojeju, we have the endorsement of Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, the Honorable Gregory Bowen, and Mr. Peter David. All right, so that will be taking place next week Sunday at the Bojeju playing field. See, people come on saying, no, Karakou have their own activity down in Harveyville. Yeah, Karakou, people have their own activity down in Harveyville at After Hours Nightclub. They could be having a nice little something, they have viewing party. Yeah, so you could be able to see it up on the big screen. All the NNPites up there in Karakou can't make it down on Sunday. For Sunday, all right? Yeah, you could stay up there and you could view it on the big screen up there at After Hours Nightclub in Karakou. But meanwhile, St. David later. Pull your phone, tap the screen, call the number.
Organize the buses.
Some people want to get vexed. Some people want to get upset. They say NNPIs does enjoy ourselves too much, yeah? They want to vex. The face twist up, the face turn up, all kind of thing. Don't blame us.
Just do anything. Cause last night I drink the rum and I falling down, but I know this morning I waking up. I'm telling you, I drink the rum last night and I falling down. Now I'm thanking God for waking me up. I'm waking up. And if you're mass over there, if I'm a friend them over there, if I got them over there, if you're job over there, tell me over there, come to mass man and top strikers. Tell you that we all over. Tell you man a survivor. And we not giving up. We not giving up. If mass was on a football field, turn on the strike.
Yes, indeed. So from 6 p.m., it's going to be the endorsement of the Honorable Oliver Joseph. That's going to be taking place at Latant. Yeah, Latant. You know, you could check the playing field and see the playing field dry. But anyway, we're going Latant. Latant, yeah. Latant from 6 p.m. this afternoon. So the Honorable Oliver Joseph, Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Senator Peter David, Honorable Emlyn Pierre, and various other speakers will be there bringing you the message of the new national party. Now, some people want to upset when we enjoy ourselves, but let's tell you something, The NNP is an organization. If you're looking at Channel 1000, if you get the opportunity, sweetheart, you're looking at Channel 1000 or Dairy. Morning, Patricia, you can watch Channel 1000 again. You have to kind of watch online. And it's going to be via the Honorable Oliver Joseph's Facebook page. You could check there this afternoon from about 5:30 on start to see the broadcast coming across on his Facebook page and the various other pages and so on. Right? It will also be shared via the New National Party Facebook page, the Hard Talk Facebook page, and other pages. And you won't see people sharing it like me, and so you're going to see we share the thing. Because we just share up the thing. So everybody go see the thing.
Like and
all right?
Share. Yeah.
Also, we'll be live on 89.5 and several other stations. I don't have the stations listed in front of me. I'm not sure of the other stations that will be broadcasting. I believe Karakou will be broadcasting later, 92.9 at Linton. Linton. Good morning, Linton. Good morning, Lisa. Good morning, DJ Jack. Yeah, you pass and check them?
No, I saw Jack though.
You saw Jack?
I didn't really want to see him. I wanted to see
Nah, that's okay. Nah, I didn't really want you up in the station too. And Lisa, right, we don't want him up in the station too anyway. Don't pass up there. Right? Nice, yeah. You could have stayed on into that glad. I just was checking on. I was checking.
Good morning.
Smart
good morning.
Checker making day. All right? Yeah, man. Watch, yeah. So I need more than them because later, I'm telling all you, we're going down the road St. David. Yeah, we definitely going to be hitting St. David like a hurricane later on. Yeah, like a hurricane later on. Yeah.
Good morning to all of you on the chat and everyone who was a bit concerned about me. I'm good. And thanks for your, sincere greetings and so.
Wanted that day off to study. Rainfall whole day Sunday. Guys are tired. He couldn't come.
The people could judge. They hated my voice. So
come see it. I sick. Come see it. I sick.
Yeah, I had Karakou. Yeah. I went to Karakou. I got a draft, man. That was
I tell you, man, I know why he didn't take our checkers instead. He go and take our draft.
I like draft too,
Go and take our draft.
Well, I played it too much. But hey, I'm all right. And I got to keep moving. That's the important thing. Can't sit down.
I don't mind if you keep moving on, but telling you, later on, I know where I want to be. Where you going to be?
Later on?
Yeah.
Latant.
Somebody calling.
We playing football and all on the ground there.
We have a guest to come in today, but somebody calling. So let me take the call.
Good morning and welcome.
Morning, sir.
I don't want to be live,
You're live already, Once you call this number between 10 and 12, you're live. So you want to call us later.
What I'm finding out, will the endorsement this afternoon be on 1000 television?
Yes, it will.
All right, thank you.
Okay, my brother.
All right.
Yeah, you're not afraid to ask that on air, man? Hey, we say just now, but I not. Next thing I wasn't listening, you didn't turn on the radio yet. You didn't realize that we top striking already. We putting up the boss top striker in St. David today. The top striker in St. David going on the stage today. Yeah, some people vex. They vex.
They mad.
Yeah, who praying for rain? Let rain fall. Yeah, you feel it so? Yeah, you feel it so. You feel it so to win election? Yeah, don't worry, man. St. David.
Stand up there and feel it, man. The footballers come in later on.
Yeah.
Premier League, not just the ordinary local football. Premier League style.
Yeah.
Latin Junction, we are coming.
Yeah, man.
Honorable Oliver Joseph will be endorsed as the candidate for your constituency. Hey, he has been doing a wonderful, a marvelous job, right, in servicing the constituency of St. David's in the last 4.5 years.
Not only a difficult job,
Difficult.
St. David is not an easy constituency to deal with. I can tell you that. St. David is always a difficult constituency to deal with. Yeah? It's so large and it's so varied. And it's so called. There's so much different aspects to that particular constituency.
Hey,
let's take this phone call.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Morning. Go right ahead.
Good morning.
Otto?
Yes, you're live, my dear. Okay. Go right ahead.
Listen, well, I always late, but I realized last night I sit on my phone talking to somebody on my phone and I look across on the hill and I see bright lights.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said last night I sat down and looked across the hill, and I saw some bright lights on our Parliament building.
So
I saw it a few nights ago, and it looks so beautiful.
Okay.
It looks.
So that means we're nearly ready to open.
Yeah, too bad certain people wouldn't be sitting down in it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay, over there.
Right.
All of that is what driving certain people jittery.
Yeah. Hey, good morning to Anishel K. Thomas. Happy birthday to you, my dear.
Today she birthday?
Today
we go play the birthday tune for
Yes, we go play the birthday tune.
Do you have a call?
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Sheldon.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, David. Hold on.
You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
All right.
You ready? You ready?
Well, Sheldon, I want to say, Honorable Oliver Joseph, that man has solved the people of St. David with excellence. He delivered. And I want to say the people of St. David could be proud of Honorable Oliver Joseph. Yeah, I could say after Mr. Dennis left, this man has shown that the people of St. David that he cares about them, right? And he did not come into politics to fully participate. He came there to deliver for the people of St. David, and he delivered. And I know the people of St. David have faith in him, and they will restore him back in the House of Parliament, right? Okay. And Brother Sheldon, let us look at Dr. Mitchell and Honorable Nazimov. Dr. Mitchell did not leave his job in America to come down to help himself. He came down here to help the people greater, right? And he continued to help them because you see, he's a leader that cares about people. I want to see people have a better lifestyle, and that is what he is doing. But when you look at Nazimov, he don't care about nobody than himself. Because I always say, in opposition, you've never find the NMP criticize any project that NDC will do to help better people's life. They will try to strengthen it. Right? Because it cares about people. And I always say, Brother Sheldon Devon, if it cares about people, you might not like somebody, but if the person doing something to help better the living condition of people in Greater, you should applaud the person for that. But look at what NDC do. Everything that this government do to help the people of Greater, they criticize it. How you could criticize something that is good to help develop people's life and criticize it? There's something wrong, So you can see definitely who care about people and who love people. Right? And the NMP party is the party that cares and they love people. And they continue to demonstrate their cares to the people of Greater Carriacou and Peter Martinique. Right? And Brother Sheldon, I want to say, we are on the right track. Let us continue spreading the positive. Who want to continue to say negative things, let us stay in the negative. When you stay positive, you develop yourself, you go forward. But in the negative, you go back. And Brother Sheldon, I want to say, God bless you and Devon. You all have a wonderful day. You will see me later.
All right, caller.
All right, my brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we go.
Latant. Like what inside your soul?
You can't go to Latant and not touch that, man. I mean, it had.
Tap the screen.
Tap the screen. Call the number 440-7377, and we have a guest coming in studio with us.
Why?
I haven't been able to find them for the morning so far, but they're coming, eh? Yeah, I believe they're coming, yeah.
Yesterday I catch you cool, boy. I say I didn't get enough today, but I keep moving because we're going Latin today.
You had to keep moving, boy, because
keep moving.
I mean, you're going in these fellas' area, you know?
Yeah, you understand?
That's what the celebration does take place with these two, you know?
Right.
After they take the Soca Monarch in Trinidad, it's day to come in and celebrate, you know? Hey, you know, I hear all football shoe, all football socks sell out in Trinidad.
I know, hey.
All football shoe and football socks sell out in Trinidad. Difficult to find a football right now, you know. Yeah, and you know I'm sure you like the teeth and thing in between. Yes, I could say that. A little say that. I could say that. They go on. They're breaking place and teeth and all, you know.
I take a part in
I could
that
say
one.
that. You don't say that. I could make them statement. Or they don't make them statement. Yes, indeed. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Devon.
Good morning, sir.
I heard Sheldon mention on 2 occasions a while ago that Boucheju is next week. I just want to confirm if it's next week or if it's Sunday coming.
This Sunday.
This Sunday coming.
Okay,
Next week starts on Sunday.
Sheldon, you said next week Sunday, so kind of correct that.
Next week Sunday is Sunday coming.
Yeah, that you said. Eh?
Because next week starts on Sunday, so Sunday coming is next week Sunday.
So Sunday. Yeah, but the way it's sung like if it's not this Sunday, you know?
Okay.
All right, my brother. Good.
Yes, next week Sunday is the week starts on Sunday. So next week Sunday is Sunday next week. Yeah? We have to correct this thing in how we just talk. Yeah? Somehow we get ourselves tie up. So Sunday, as in next Sunday, as in less than 7 days away from now, yes, that day is when the date will be announced. On the 28th, nothing ain't changed, in other words. Nothing has changed. The 28th remains in Boucheju.
Boucheju.
All right? Nice. So we have thing going on there. All kind of thing taking place. Nice. Beautiful.
And the team in Karakou will be viewing live from Karakou.
Yeah, remember after hours nightclub, they might start a little after 5 and that kind of thing because the thing starting, you understand? So the thing will be nice, you understand? Are waiting to see Northwest people are waiting to see how you're bringing in the dock, eh?
Yeah, I'm waiting to see all
Northwest people are waiting to see how all you're bringing in the dock. If I see anything under 200 are you all bringing in the dock. And I want, listen, other constituencies, stay out of the way. Let me give you a little warning early. Stay out of the way. Leave Northwest people, Lee Indian and them, Lee Tati and all of them, and Tamara and all of them. Leave them, let them bring the political leader on their own. All right? I warning all you from now. All you want to go and jam up in the people, leave them. Let it bring the political leader on their own. All you get, all you go take when they bounce all you out the thing. I mean, you know, he doesn't fight and thing. We think to go bounce all you out the thing, you know. Don't go in it. Leave them alone. All right.
I know.
Waiting to see how they're bringing them in.
Kami, good morning.
That's Kami constituency.
Kami constituency.
All right. That's Kami constituency.
Kami thing, and she playing that, you know.
Yeah.
Kami, and the thing on this evening, eh? Make sure. You understand?
The thing on.
The thing on. St. David's. Do what you have to do. Lock up when around 3 o'clock. And we head in St. David's, baby.
On like boiled corn. Yes, we head into St. David for the original top striker himself. Yeah, what somebody say, touch the thing again. They say they like it. They say touch it again. Touching it again.
Pull your phone. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Show them what it's all about. Nick and Natty and Tono Nage.
It's all about all of the Jews.
Yes, indeed. We heading till a tant later, eh?
Yes.
We say we heading till a tant later.
It's all about all of the Jews.
Watch. Mr. Man, pull that thing on the screen there for me, man. Pull that thing. Let me surprise the people with who coming inside.
You understand? Just pull that thing on the screen.
Pull the screen.
Dr. Kit is a key, so vote for the house. Soon as they get in, cock up your foot on the couch. Them other party, don't know what they about. It's green reducing, let's keep moving. Progress is a must. We know how we are, but we don't know how we go get. Let we continue the progress. I'm telling you flat, without a doubt, an NP is the best. Let we continue the progress. St. Andrew, let's keep moving. St. George, let's keep moving. St. David, let's keep moving. St. Mark's, let's keep moving. St. John's, let's keep moving. St. Patrick, let's keep moving. Karakou pretty massive. I said, whoa, yeah. All right, Grenada. Dr. Kate's ready to move. Tell my kids ready to move. Kincha Tobias ready to move. Amma Nicholas ready to move. Oliver ready to move. Anthony ready to move. Bowen, Emlyn, Yolan, Peter, Clarice, Alvin ready to move. We know how we are, but we don't know how we go get. Let we continue the progress. I'm telling you flat, without an out and NP is the best. Let we continue the progress. St. Andrew, let's keep moving. St. George, let's keep moving. St. David, let's keep moving. Deal with them, Dr. Keys. St. Mark's, let's keep moving. St. John's, let's keep moving. St. Patrick, let's keep moving.
You know what? Let me buzz the tune for the listeners and them to know. Let the listeners know who it is that we have in studio with us this morning. Right?
You don't know what time it is. Rara, listen now. Hey, who they want? Peter, who say Dodgers want? Peter, who they want? Peter, who say Dodgers want? Peter, the tongue of St. George. Peter, who they say they want?
None of them saw him beating Peter. Let us stay there and face it. We will see you needy and greedy election day. Yeah. You'll see you needy and greedy election day. Good morning to you, sir.
Morning, my man. How are you doing today?
I'm quite fine, man. Are you ready for them?
I come in the room. There's a buoyant mood inside.
Yes, there, man. That man was sick when he reached in and he get good enough.
I was saying earlier, I wish I had a job like you. Like, and you're smiling all day. Anyway, thanks for having me here this morning. I appreciate it.
We must first of all apologize to the Grenadian people. And the reason we're going to apologize to the Grenadian people is this. Usually, Senator the Honorable Peter David would be down at court right now representing poor people children.
Yep.
And it means right now that somebody down there who need a lawyer may not receive the kind of legal counsel that they need. So, first of all, we apologize. And that is not just the people of the tongue of St. George.
No.
That's all over the country.
In fact, I was scheduled to be in Govan Sates this morning, but because I know how to be here to ask them.
Govan Sates people, we humbly ask for your we apologize. We humbly ask for your understanding.
Let me say this to you, that when I leave the practice, which may be in the next month, depending on Dr. Mitchell, I have another attorney that they would love, who is coming back from where he is.
Nice.
To take the practice to represent for people again. So
there
will be no what you call it? There will be no stopping of the practice of my firm. My firm will continue representing people by getting in two lawyers, one who is a magistrate in another jurisdiction at the moment.
Nice. Well, I feel I know who that one is.
Poor people's choice.
I'm a partner. If I'm a partner, you're talking about it.
Your partner. So my office will continue to represent people all the way through, because I truly believe that there are many people who need there are many young people, old people, people without means who need representation, and justice must not only be given to those who can afford it, it must be given to all, just like healthcare.
Yeah.
I see justice similar to healthcare, that the money in your pocket should not determine the level of health or the level of justice that you receive. So that is why one of the things I had to consider in getting back into full-time politics and government is, what do I do about those people who need representation? Because quite frankly, a lot of lawyers who wouldn't touch it.
Mm-hmm.
There are lawyers, there are people who out there who talk, they want to help people, but they don't really come and help people in the court. Despite the fact that they're lawyers, you don't see them in the court helping people. So I have spoken to my colleague who is now in another jurisdiction, and we've agreed that he's coming back. In fact, he'll be here this weekend too, to help us represent the people, as we always do in my practice.
Indeed. And the thing is this, I go to different areas, and from day one, you've always heard people say, you have a problem, go to Peter. You have a problem, go to Peter. I never once hear them say, go to... I wonder if I should call the name, boy. I wonder if the name worthy to call. But there's lawyers too, but I never hear them say, go to the political leader of the NDC. I never hear them say, go to the candidate in town. I never hear them say, well, this person does help people go there. I mean, it could be a person who was supporting NNP at the time you was in NDC. Could be a person who was supporting NDC or GULP, or a person supporting no party. They always say, go
because the truth is,
go to Peter.
The truth is, my friend Sheldon, that there are many people. First of all, there are innocent people who get arrested. So those persons, and they don't know the law. You know how it is to go and stand up in front of a judge, you alone. You hear all kind of big words and all kind of stuff. You need somebody there. Secondly, even if they committed a crime, you need to talk with them. I tell people, and if people who know me know that when I represent young people who give trouble, I not only represent them in court, I look for a job for them, I sit down and talk with them, I counsel them, I talk to them, because at the end of the day, for the grace of God, there go any of us, can end up in difficulties with the law. You know, there's a crime in Grenada to insult, to curse and all of that, and people end up in the court. So I believe that God blessed me, my family was able to send me to university to become a lawyer. I must give back some to society. And that is why I do it. I don't do it for politics. People know me. I represent LNP, NDC, PLM, Liberal Party, whoever comes to me, because at the end of the day, as I said earlier, just like healthcare should be given to all, justice should be given to all, despite the level of income. And that is why we don't have a legal aid society in system in Grenada. In the US, in Canada, in most developed countries, you have a legal aid system. So people who can't afford it get a lawyer. I practiced in New York for 10 years, and I saw that. You know, you have an 18B, you have legal aid, you have all of that. In Grenada, we don't have that. Nope. So if you can't afford it, you go to a lawyer, tell you $5,000. What are you going to tell him? You know,
and sometimes you're innocent, and imagine you're innocent.
Absolutely. And
you're innocent.
You know what I feel really for sometimes? The mothers. You know, mothers come to court with their kids. And let me tell you this. All the mothers out there listening to me know this. That no matter what your kid do, you're going to look out for him. No matter what my child does, I look out for him. It's my child. And many of them I have to relate to every day, and I really feel sorry for mothers. I want to down on the fathers, but I hardly see fathers coming to court.
The truth is the truth.
Mothers come to court all the time. They cry, they beg, they say, Lord, Your Honor, my Lord, whatever, please have mercy. And I am there to help them. And as I said, this has nothing to do with politics. People who know me, no, it have nothing to do with politics. It have to do with my sense of duty. I became a lawyer to do what I can. Just like doctors. I hope there are no doctors out there would leave somebody, come to them, sick and dying, and say, boy, you can't afford it, so I'll leave you to die. How as a lawyer man could come to me and he facing jail and he innocent, and I say to him, yo, if you can't pay me, I can't help you. No. We have to do better than that. And I appeal to the lawyers outside to help people when they come before you for assistance in getting justice.
Does it fall along the line of your interaction with the Cuban society, where when they train a doctor, and they train a doctor for the Caribbean region, they tell that doctor, when you go back, your job is to help the poverty and the poor-stricken people of your country. Not just to go and make money off of what we taught you, but to help people. Has that a bit of that rubbed off on you over the years?
I don't know if that itself has rubbed off. I certainly want to comment on that, because I think I am who I am. I don't know, maybe it's God's way of using me in the world. That is how I am. But I look at Dr. Winston Thomas. He is the shining example of what a Cuban trained doctor should be. A Cuban trained doctor should give back for a couple of reasons. One, they got a free education, but it wasn't free. It's free to you who go, but it's not free to the Cuban people. The Cuban people pay for it. And they do it on the basis of you going back to your country and serve. Now, I'm not saying to all doctors that they must take out poverty and don't make money. But you could balance making money with serving people. I pay my bills. I don't charge people a lot of money. Like I say, every little person come to me and give me a couple of dollars. I put it all together. I live a decent life. I don't need more than I need. You know, I have, you know, my kids go to school, my grandkids are okay, I eat properly, sometimes eat too much, you know, so I'm all right. I'm saying
all right.
So I'm saying that you have to balance making money with serving your community, and that is what we who are, I didn't pay for my education in Grenada. It's a hard work of farmers and workers and so on who assist us in getting the kind of education we need. I have to give back. And if everybody gives back a little, then we share the burden of giving back. So if we could share that burden of giving back, those of us who succeed, it would be a wonderful society. And where did I get it from? I think it's my father and my mother, really. My father had that kind of sense of duty. He came from a very poor family, my father. Yeah, Charles David. And he never really, you know, he's 95 years old now. Not he's well physically, but the brain slipping, forgetting some things. I guess at 95, they could afford to forget some things. But he always taught us never forget where you come from. And my father was always like that. He used to walk miles and miles as a kid. He worked on the street, on the road, in fact. He did everything. He started like a rent-a-car and he made some dollars. We didn't grow up wealthy. And he never, I mean, I learned to swim on the carnage. I grew up in the four roads in Tongues where I know all them fellas in Tantine. So I'm not trying to give my credentials. Okay, people know me. I'm just saying that
unlike people who want to say there's the original.
Yeah, I ain't going down that road. All I'm saying is who I am is who I am. And those who is just who I am. It's not politics, it's nothing else. So there are people who don't like me, of course, I could live with that. As I tell them, I have enough people who love me to be compensated, to compensate for one or two might hate me. And, they don't even know why they hate me, but I good. The question going back to the legal thing, I heard the person who running against me, can't remember her name, she running against me. I heard her go on a platform on, I think it was last week, Friday, in Forest. There had a few people, maybe 10 or 9 or 10 people in a meeting they had in Forest, and make a statement. She talking about law and help people, and said that when they get into office, they're going to pass a law so that they could clean people's records. Now, I want to say to her, yo, we did that already. So you, a lawyer, you said you want to help. You don't even know that we passed that law already. I piloted that bill in the parliament where people now, after 2 or 3 or 4, depending on the crime years, they can get their record clean. And I listen, I say, my Lord, you talking about helping people, you saying you know you're grounded, and you don't even know that young people now, first of all, juveniles don't get a record, but secondly, that we have passed legislation in the Parliament of Grenada to clean people's record after some years. Of course, some of them can't get a clean record, like murder and rape and them. You never get a clean record.
No.
But lower level crime, insulting language, obscene language, possession of a small amount of cannabis, that kind of thing, you get a clean record. So I'm just saying that we need, when people come to represent people in town or in Subic or in St. Andrews, in Patches, wherever, first of all, you have to, as Dr. Mitchell always say, love people. Don't come to politics to get a work from people. Come to politics to work for people. And for that, you have to ground yourself with the people. So that's where I am. That's who I am.
And the thing is interesting, because I remember sitting with you in Carriacou, would have been, I think, 2016. Yeah, we were up in Carriacou in 2016. And over breakfast having that discussion where you were saying, listen, it's very difficult for some of these youth who you may have cuss a bad word in town, or police arrest you, get a charge on that and so, or you have a little bus thing and you have a charge for that, or you may have even gone up to prison for that. And you go and you apply for a job in the hotel sector and they tell you have a prison record.
Absolutely.
Or you're going for a visa and they say, well, you have a prison record. Or you apply for another job in the private sector or so on and they say, well, prison record. And I remember you saying, even back then, which was a full near 2 years or so before this bill even came to Parliament, that this should be done. It's unfair to these young people to continue to have these sort of petty crime on their record and spoiling their records.
Absolutely. Following that discussion with you, Sheldon, I researched Jamaica has such legislation, St. Vincent had such legislation. So I got the legislation from Jamaica and St. Vincent, and myself and Sir Larry Joseph, we presented a draft proposal to the government, and happily the government agreed to pass the legislation, because when it came really to the fore to me when Sandals was being constructed, and at that time Quinn Construction and some other big companies started to ask for records for workers. I mean, man going to do construction work and they asking for record. And a gentleman came to me the conviction he had many years ago for obscene language and some insulting language and so on, for about 18, 20 years ago. And then it came to me that this record is following this man all over. Somebody going to apply for a visa to go in the US and they have a record for cussing somebody, they're applying for a job, and you have these. So really and truly, they have paid their dues. They were convicted, they were maybe charged some money or went to a small time in jail. Say, listen, you've shown rehabilitation, you've done nothing wrong since you committed that crime. Let's give you a second chance. And that is what Christianity is about. That is what our society should be about. To give people a second chance. I've seen people, with convictions for years ago and they can't get a job, which means, I had a man who came out from prison and he wanted to get a bus conductor license. And I went tell him no, because you have a record. Now, really, the man is trying to be a productive citizen. Let us forgive people. I think that is what we should be. I find sometimes there's a lot of hate going around, a lot of anger going around. I see it now in the politics sometimes, people talking about Dr. Mitchell as if he's some evil person and all that. Listen, we could have differences. Reasonable persons could differ on issues without that kind of anger. I am saying to people, listen, I believe that the NNP government is the best. I had a man this morning tell me, he heard me say that this is the best 5-year period in my political life. And how can I say that? How can I say that? I say that because I believe it. I determine what I believe is the best 5 years I have had in politics. Now people say, well, what about the revolution? I say, yes, the revolution is very positive. But firstly, it was a contentious period. We have difficulties dealing with it. It had not settled down. So we had a lot of issues contending with, which ultimately ended up in the demise of the revolution. So yes, it was good. We achieved a lot at the airport. And I will never, ever turn my back on how positive the revolution was. Because it was. But I'm talking about other issues, political stability, the economic progress and all of that. This period.
Even the interpersonal relationship between members of the organization to which you belong.
Absolutely.
Because during the period of the revolution, you would have had that friction, and we saw the friction ended
issues,
up.
Absolutely.
Even during the period of the NDC, we saw the friction, and we saw how that ended up.
The war.
No, let me call it friction. Friction.
A war. I differ with you on that.
Well, my friend, my brother Romain is reflecting what he felt. Because my brother Romain, I'll tell you, my brother Romain, I can tell you this. He went through some stuff because I had to be fighting. Baby knows that every week I had to be fighting for this brother. And what was upsetting about it to people like Devon and others? I mean, I could take blows. I guess I have a greater capacity. I guess financially I could have survived without the problems that Devon had. His problems were both financial and personal. For me, it was the fact that we fought a battle getting into government. We struggled hard. You know, you were part of the other side at the time and hope you're contending back and forth. And then you get into government and you believe that, listen, now you get into government, things are going to settle down. We're going to try to build the country. And then the first thing you know, in 2009 January, the guys the contending parties, as you call them, ended up going to the GBSS in the first convention after the 2008 election and get rid of people like Colin LaBarry and Ali Gill and George Prime. Colin LaBarry. I mean, Colin LaBarry is one of the calmest, quietest, lovely men. One of the guys, Colin LaBarry. After I will tell you this story about Colin, maybe he might.
He's listening. I'm sure he's listening.
He might blush when I say Colin LaBarry was one of the guys who stayed with the NDC in its most difficult times in 1999. When we came into the party, Colin tells me, Peter, I wasn't sure about you guys, and Colin LaBarry was one of the, but being from Northeast St. Andrews, he's one of the guys who helped Mr. Book a lot in Northeast. In fact, there's a road they call LaBarry Hill in Bolio.
Yes.
Colin LaBarry stayed with the party. He stuck with the party, despite his unease when we came in, because there was all this talk about communists and revolution, Colin being a very religious man and all of that. He obviously had some unease. He said as he worked with us, he got to understand us, and then he stuck with the party. Other persons like the businessman in the South, and many of them resigned from the NDC when we came. And I have their resignation letters. They could say what they want. No, I have it. Colin stuck till we won elections. The first thing they did in the first convention is to Colin LaBarry, was removed unceremoniously, despite the assurances given to him. And that was the first signal to us, my brother, that trouble was brewing. I begged them, both publicly and privately, do not start a war within a party between Colin and Prime. And then Prime that morning, the book, remove Prime. We begged them, and you could go back to the newspapers of 2009 where I said to George Wound in his newspaper, I do not believe we should make any changes. Exactly. Devon, you know that.
Executive made a decision.
Executive of the party made a decision that we are not going to challenge
nobody.
Despite that, the guys went and fired a shot across, man, and get rid of Colin LaBarry, get rid of George Prime, get rid of Ali Gill. So when they talk about who fighting for power and all that, the history is clear that I was never engaged in any fight for power. They would say, ask anybody in the party. In fact, you know the amazing thing? Nobody can tell you what it is Peter did. Nobody can tell you. Up to today. They charge me, indict me, convict me, and execute me without the charges being read. And they say they're lawyers. Lord have mercy. Anyway. Sorry for telling you my woes in the past. We're looking forward to a bright future.
The thing is, it's important for Grenadians to remember. And I know there are lots of folks who were within the NDC and some who are still within the NDC and know for a fact that all of these things happen.
Absolutely.
And they're on the fence right now and they want to come over. But they're not sure. It's like you want to go in the ocean, but you're not sure if the water too cold for you. So you're wondering, man.
The water nice.
You want to, but they wonder. What do you have to say to those members now?
Let me tell you this. I have really good friends in the NDC, really good friends. I say this all the time, and I say it from the depth of my heart, that I do not regret for 1 minute having participated in the politics of the NDC. I believe that there are people in there who love Grenada just as much as me and everybody else. So I don't start by saying them is enemy and who is enemy. And they're not my enemy.
No name calling.
No name calling. I believe that persons in the NDC mean as good for Grenada as any of us sitting in this room. But what I also believe that there are persons in the NDC at the higher levels of the party who are only interested in power. My experience in coming, I remember when me and Dr. Mitchell first spoke. There's all these conspiracy theories about me being some traitor inside
agent for LNP.
You know what I mean? That's the point. I'll come to that because I remember the first time I listened to Dr. Mitchell, 2012 budget address. He's opposition leader. And he gave what I believed was a budget address that I like to hear because his message was, let's come together and build this country. Now, I wasn't sure because up to that point, me and Dr. Mitchell hadn't spoken about politics and so on, but we were combatants on two different sides. So we met outside of the Parliament building. I said, Doc, you serious about what you just said there? Because it was the first time I really hear him with that tone, that tenor of unity. Mm-hmm. Because I've always spoken about tribalism. That is like my favorite word to describe the political system. Exactly. I've always spoken about the tribal politics and how bad it is for the development of our country. And I said to Dr. Mitchell, are you serious when you talk about development? He said to me, listen, Peter, George Bizan had just died. You see where George Bizan in his coffin there now? All of us get in there. We have all made mistakes. We have all contributed to the divisiveness in this country. I intend to rectify that. I intend to do what I can towards the end of my political career to correct that. In other words, his legacy must not be that. And I said, listen, if you're serious, then we could talk. Then we didn't talk for a while, and then I was expelled. After I was expelled, I say, well, let me go back to that conversation. Because remember, I was expelled from the party without any notice. Nobody said to me, Peter, we're going to expel you if you do this, if you do that. I just wake up the morning of the convention, preparing to go, and then I get a message from the chairman saying, Peter, don't bother come, you are expelled along with 9 of your colleagues. So after I was expelled, not left, didn't leave, after I was expelled from the party, I decided to reopen the conversation with Dr. Mitchell because, listen, we need to build this country, and I don't care which room I'm in the house or which section of Grenada I'm in, we need to build this country. So I spoke to Dr. Mitchell again, and we decided to continue the conversation and went into the elections. Yes, I supported the NDP going into the elections because my experience with the NDC told me that they were going to continue along this path of divisiveness. And then I look over the last 4 years and what I see is that Dr. Mitchell has delivered on one of the promises I find the most important promise he made, which is to not further divide this country. And I believe, based on my experience, and based on the experience of other brothers like Devon, and based on how he has treated persons who disagree with him, I believe, in the depth of my heart, that Dr. Mitchell, at this stage of his life, wants to unify this country. And my experience, Sheldon, inside of the NNP, is one where I believe we on the same road. I have found no arguments. Of course, there are people who differ with you. That's life. My children don't always agree with me. Husbands and wives don't always agree. We disagree, but I have not found that there's any disagreement that divides us. There's disagreement that we argue and then we come to a consensus and we move forward. I've seen Dr. Mitchell display that. I've seen Dr. Mitchell said to me, listen, Peter, I want you to tell me exactly what I need to hear, not what I want to hear. And he has really lived up to that promise. So, his approach to the unions, his approach to the NGOs, his approach to the churches, no confusion over the last 4.5 years. What does that tell us? It tells us that while Grenada needs further development, while we agree that there's still too much unemployment, there's still too much difficulties for some working people, he is on the right path. And that is what you need to look at. If you look at the other side of the coin, the NDC, as I said, I have no difficulties with people in the NDC, but they must admit that they are not ready to govern this country. I cannot see how anybody, of course, that's my opinion, I can't see how anybody can come to the view, when you put up the two teams, the NNP team and the NDC team, I don't see how anybody can come to the conclusion that the NDC is a better team to run this country.
Never happened.
In fact, I'll tell you this, Sheldon, I know that there are senior people in the NDC who believe that Mr. Book is not the best leader for this country. Yeah. And they say it quietly, of course, they're party people, they have to say what they say publicly.
They're afraid of it.
But I say to the base of the party, just like in the US, I say to the base of the NDC party, even if you could stay in your party, you could be a member of NDC, but that doesn't mean you can't vote for Grenada. You can vote for what's best for Grenada while maintaining your membership in NDC. I'm not asking any of them to put on a green jersey and come and wave the flag with me. That's my personal decision. But I'm asking them to exercise their vote in favor of the country using their conscience as the guide, which is that there is no way they can tell me that NDC has a better team to run this country. No. 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road, they may go back and recalibrate. They may go back and say, boy, let's find a new leader, let's find a new thing, because they know that the leader doesn't really excite the people. Their leader is really such that he
can't make it.
Well, we've been hearing the different constituency caretakers complaining that when they go to the constituencies, the NDC base is not favorable to the individual who is political leader of the party right now. They're saying outright, listen, we support the NDC, but we can't vote because we cannot support person A as Prime Minister of this country.
And that's
cannot support
that's what
that
the people
person.
saying.
And it's across the board. Every constituency, they have been receiving that problem. But how do you respond to the statements that are being made? Now, the Grenadian people are very aware, and they've just been reminded of what took place within the ranks of the NDC between 2008 coming up to 2013. What do you say to the people who are out there right now, in particular your opponent in the town, who refers to the individuals who did not leave the NDC, but who were expelled by the NDC, by their own organization, that they were willing to stay and help unify and build, that were expelled by that organization, are calling them names like brats, spoiled brats, are calling them names like, what else? There's another name?
They're traitors.
Traitors, and all these sort of things. And then the rank and file people, the guy who is on the coronage right now and is wondering if he can get a job at one of the construction sites somewhere, or is planning to start a small business, or the young fella up in Rose Hill, or the young lady that's in Tivoli or wherever that needs help, and they are referring to them as the needy and greedy. What do you say to the people that use these sort of terms to describe people?
Well, firstly, this idea that the lady running for tongue like to give people like she was courted by both sides is absolutely dishonest. She was part of the cabal, the clique of people who organized the party to expel us. She was deeply in the belly of the NDC. I know that, and she knows that I know that. I was the general secretary of the party. She has always been a solid, not just a supporter, but an advisor. Her, along with the other people, I can call the names if she wants, but I wouldn't. I don't want to be name calling today. But this idea that they were not in NDC is not true. It's dishonest to say that. She was in the NDC.
They were financiers.
Of course, and not financiers alone, advisors, because they were a group of advisors. You remember this? One of the problems with the NDC that Mr. Thomas said to us the workers, the GS, the assistant GS like Devon and party workers.
The other Devon too.
The other Devon too. That these advisors who like to hide in the background They worked harder than us. The Prime Minister told us that in cabinet that these advisors who never came on a platform, who never went around, who never got in the trenches, but they were so bright that they didn't have to do that. They got the credit in the end for winning the elections because the Prime Minister said to them that they work harder than us. That is why they expel us, because they felt like they get rid of us. These advisors could win the elections. God knows they lose all 15. You know it is there, but here was laugh, Sheldon. Here was laugh too. When we came into the party, they were at 0.
0.
We go to 7, then we go to 11. Then they expel us. When they go back to 0. What that tells you, you take a brain scientist, a neuroscientist to figure that out. So that issue there, they were the advisors who put NDC in the position it is today. So they have to take the credit for it. But the other issue of them calling us traitors and doing all of that and needy and greedy. Let me say this. I hear this needy and greedy thing. And she could call me spoiled by all of that. That's nonsense. She could do the name
Irrelevant,
calling.
yeah.
Yes, I won't call her any names. All I'll say that she was an advisor to Prime Minister Thomas, which should be a credit. She should take a credit for that.
She should take credit for
I
that.
won't be upset if somebody call my advisor to a Prime Minister. In any event, spoiled brat and needy and greedy. It is. I can't imagine that a politician will call the electorate needy and greedy.
Shame on her.
Shame on you. There are people in this country who have needs that the society can't afford. We have unemployment. What do I say to a woman? What do I say to a woman who comes to me with 3 children? The father's nowhere to be found. The gas run out because she don't have a job. The kids can't go to school. She needs to get the kids to school if she's to have a good chance in society to pull her kids out of poverty. And she says, Mr. David, I really can't afford to send the kids to school this week. I need to get some help to do that. Am I to say to her, sis, we have a nice program for the development of the country. It will take about 15 years. If you could hold on 15 years, you're going to be okay. What do I say to her? That she needy and greedy, so don't give her? No. I say to her, listen, ma'am, I'm going to look for a job for you, as I did with many youth. You can go in River Road now and meet 15, 20 youth who I call the construction sites. I spoke to the people at the university construction site, the Parliament building construction site. There's some other hotel, the Silver Sands construction site. And when the youth came to me, they said to me, listen, I'm glad for the job, but I need a boots. So what do? You assist them with getting a boots. You assist them with getting a helmet because they don't have. That's why they're coming before you. This is not handouts. This is helping people pull themselves out. And they may say, listen, we need bus fare for the first 2 weeks because we're starting at 0. That is helping people. That is not giving needy and greedy people. So I find it very contemptuous of the same electorate that you're going to ask to vote for you. I don't know how a politician, well, I understand some of them are the hierarchy of the NDC and how they think, but how they believe they could cost the people who vote. You know what? The first sign of that I saw after the elections in 2013, the general secretary of the party at the time, I found the name Isaac, I think he was with another leader of the NDC, went on television and said that everybody who vote for NDC, bright, and everybody wwho vote for NNP, dunce. And when he said that, I nearly fell off my chair because the fact is, NDC hierarchy don't understand that the people of this country. So if they want to continue, but all I want to say to that person who used the term needy and greedy is that remember where you came from.
Remember where
you came from. You abandon the people and go where you go, but remember where you came from, and remember there are circumstances around you that people can talk about too.
Exactly.
But we won't talk about that.
We ain't gonna go there, but let's try to understand this though, because a person does not make themselves needy. Nobody makes themselves needy. You may be born into a particular situation. You may lose your job with no fault of yours. The company closed, something happened.
Easy for that to happen.
Economic problems, and sometimes they're calling people greedy. And I know people that have 2-story concrete houses and so on, and you see the internet line, and you see the cable line, and you see all the different lines attached to it. But it's bread they eating. They don't have something inside. You cannot judge a person just by sight and say this person is greedy. You do not know the needs of the individual. So who judges greedy?
But more than
judges?
Yeah, exactly.
That
who does
a person
that?
isn't needy.
As they say, who does that? The other thing is, I find there's contempt for working people. Businessmen come to the government all the time and ask for concessions. Businessmen come all the time and ask for tax breaks. They may ask for $1 million concessions, $20,000 tax break, that kind of thing. They're asking for a break. And you call it a concession. You call it a tax break. When poor people come and ask you for some help, you call it a handout.
Imagine that.
It is contemptuous of ordinary people who struggle every day. I come in contact every day, Devon, with people who fighting to make it. You know that the vast majority of people who come to me, the first thing they ask me for is a job. They ask for a job. In the absence of a job, they will ask for some help to see themselves through. There is nothing wrong. When I have a problem, I go to my brother and I say, Patrick, boy, things rough. Give me.
You shouldn't say which brother, man.
I'll go to Paul and Philip too. But Patrick is the right Bible.
Patrick is the right hand, right?
Coila safe. And Paul too. I go to them and I say, yo, because some of my family doing better than me, so I can reach out to them. But some ordinary working people, some poor people don't have any family who could help them, so they come to me. And I help. Don't talk about handouts. It is contemptuous of people. And to call people in River Road and Dabo and the Thomas St. George needy and greedy and all NNP people needy and greedy is so contemptuous that it bothers me even to say the word to describe people. I mean, Christ fed the multitude. Was he feeding needy and greedy people? I mean, really? Really?
He said it didn't have enough and he create more. He said, no, party on.
It is a contempt that is why they lost 15 twice. They show contempt for ordinary Grenadians. Listen, I'm not the kind of strict party man. When I was in NDC, NNP people used to fill my office. In fact, a lot of NNP people used to meet me and say, and a lot of them out there listening would say that. And people used to meet me and say, but Peter, we're in the wrong party, you had to come with me.
I wouldn't believe how much times I've heard that.
I said to them,
every time I heard that.
I said, oh God, I can bring you over. Well, they win the fight. And I concede and surrender. But you know, it is not about the party that you join, it's about what the party is fighting for. It's about what we all fighting for. Me and Devon fighting the struggle still. We were in ADC, we fighting the same way, we fighting the struggle the same way now. So
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
And you know, persons going and say, oh, all is Peter Boy, all is this and that. No. You see, we stand for a principle. We understand that the Grenadian people need leadership, right? So even if we can't do it in NDC, we will do it in NNP.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about the party, it's about Grenada. And I think that is what some people are missing, why they have to reach to the separation of if you are NDC, you are intelligent, and if you are NNP, you're stupid. It's not about the party. It's about the country. A few days from now, we'll be celebrating independence. And are we, as a people, an independent people, are we heading the right direction? And if we are not heading the right direction, which party is best suited to help us go in that direction?
Absolutely. And we have to find the issues on which we agree on. You know, there are many issues we agree on. The issue of employment creation, the issue of agricultural resuscitation, the issue of tourism development. We agree on these things. And I find mostly when you talk to people who oppose the NNP, they hate Dr. Mitchell. I mean, I don't know what's the hatred. I had to ask him what it is you do to some people. You cannot build a country upon your hating somebody else. You have to objectively look. What has the NNP done? Let's look at the last 5 years in terms of job creation. You know, you go down to Chublo, you go down to Grand Anson in the morning, you see the trucks coming down with the workers, jobs being created. You have to say, yes, jobs are being created. You look at the unemployment is much lower now. You look at the education system, they're doing more rehabilitation of schools, the teachers who are being regularized and all that. It is being done. The payment of the salaries monthly in a timely manner.
On time.
On time. All of these things, Devon, all of these things signal that the government is going on the right track. If your plane flying good, if your car driving good, don't stop and fix it. It's going good. It's going good. No, if it go off the track 10 years, 15 years, then you say, okay, boy, time for change. But this is not time to change anything and go back to what we had. I look at the team of persons that they have in the NDC, and God knows. Some people say we need a good opposition. Yes, but that's not the good opposition you need. What you need is an opposition that is constructive, an opposition that will say, listen, instead of painting it blue, paint it red, and give good reasons for that. Instead of saying don't paint it at all. And that is what the opposition seems to be doing, against. So I said to my NDC colleagues, the point you were making earlier, Sheldon, I said to them, listen, let's not let hate guide us into the next election. Let's reason and conscience guide you. And the truth is that the country at this moment, in terms of crime, in terms of industrial peace, look, they just settled most of the industrial disputes and amicably. There's no issue or no war. The pension, the government, the most important issue for public workers. This is the first government to take it seriously. I hear people like Ray Roberts in the South talking about it. When NDC was in office, I didn't hear them cry and beat up anybody to bring pensions.
And the worst thing is, Ray was in the Public Workers Union where he had the opportunity to voice the concerns of public workers on issues such as these.
Get a big job in GIS.
He kind of fail at that job too. Because if he did do his job proper, the NDC might at least win one seat.
Yeah.
But you're in charge of information and your party lose 15. So take that and understand what's going on.
So we have to admit, as we say, Karak is right. It's this government is doing better than previous governments, plain and simple. You might hate Dr. Mitchell because you don't like his color, you don't like his height, you don't like his hair, you don't like his nose, you don't like his
too much,
you don't like his this, you don't like his that. But like Dr. Mitchell, because you like Grenada. That's all I'm saying. I'm not asking anybody to get married to me. He's not asking anybody to get married to him. So you don't have to love me. You understand? I real good. All I'm saying is, look at what we've done. And I said to the people who know me, the people at the town of St. George, you know me. You know me. I don't have to shine light. I don't have to go no video to Cutlass and video to say who I am. You know me over these years. There's nobody in the town.
No makeover.
Don't know me. No makeover. I am, as I said in a meeting the other day, in my sins and my virtues.
You don't have to be reintroduced to the people of Grenada and the town of St. George.
Absolutely. I had to do a video to do that. You know me. Do you believe that I'm a good representative? If the answer is yes, do you believe I've represented you over the years, even when I'm out of Parliament? Do you believe you can come in contact with me whenever you desire? Do you believe that you will talk to me? We'll try to sort out your problems. If you believe that I'm a better representative than the other person who put up the self, if you believe you know me more than that other person, I'm available to be your representative. If you hate Dr. Mitchell, well, I can't help you with your hate, but if you love Grenada, I can help you with that and ask you to vote NNP.
Let's look at the issue. The other person who is running has been speaking about the town of St. George, and during your tenure, you didn't do anything for the town of St. George. And let's just be careful when they speak about your tenure as not 10 years, but tenure as the representative. First of all, you spent your first tenure, your first time in Parliament, in opposition. And the second point in time, you spent basically 2 years where you
2 years and some
2 years where you might have been able to do something, and the rest of the time
and did well too.
And we understand what was going on. And let's just talk about what you have been able to achieve in that short space of time that you had, because they must be honest with themselves.
You see,
no way they would have funded anything in the town of St. George in 2012, even from 2010 come back. There's no way they would have funded anything in the town of St. George.
I am amazed when I hear this lady talking about I ain't do nothing in the town of St. George. It's amazing. I mean, honesty really eludes them. I don't know where to start. The Tantine Pavilion that's reconstructed.
We started on the end and come.
And it's not government money, you know. I remember the Venezuelan general came here. I think it was Batista. I remember his name. He came here and he was going to look at some other projects. And I said, I'm going to show you some projects around the country. We first started in town. I showed him the Tantine Pavilion. I showed him Angel Hub Span House. I showed him the Market Square. Then I go to Granville and I show him the Ford Bridge. Devon, you remember that? Yeah. I show him a pavilion down in South St. George. Yes. I show him some other stuff. I can't remember them now. And he went back to Venezuela, and a few weeks after he approved, I kept saying to the guys in cabinet, give me a project I'm going to get. Some of them didn't believe me, or they just didn't want them to do it in Venezuela. I said, fine. So Mr. Collis, Glennis, other people gave me. Lo and behold, a few months after, the money from Venezuela is what built the Tantine pavilion where you see it is there, the Angel Haps Pan House, which you saw as attached to the Tantine playing field. The market, we have much more to do on it, but it get where it get to because of my work. Then I look at the Old Trafford playing field. Government gave some money, but I used a few $1,000s of my own money to have Old Trafford back up and running. You look at the playground, what we call the playground, where Flo sponsored, is I who get Flo to sponsor it and resuscitate that project. The Centennial Park by Fort George is me get the Chinese twin with the Fushan City in China to get them to finance Centennial Park over the tunnel. The River Road Community Center, where the boxing team that so represented Grenada so beautifully recently with a young girl, they train in the community center that the Chinese helped me to rehabilitate, and it is there. They're talking about the community center. It is there functioning. The classes take place downstairs the community center. It shows how much they are disconnected from the town of St. George. And there are many, many other small projects that we do in the town.
Social programs.
And then, I'm coming there now. And then that is in my time. But now, over the last 5 years, many of the youth in the Imani program, people in construction working with a road, people who get assist, elderly persons who are taken care of by the government, the seed program, all of these things in the town of St. George. Not to me personally. I don't want to get personal credit for it, Sheldon. I don't need to get personal credit, but these things were done, some of them under my tenure as an MP before, and some of them over these last 5 years. Look at the
children don't play in the playground there.
I don't look. So look at this cruise ship terminal done by the New National Party government. The bus terminus done by the New National Party government. Where have they been? Okay, they talk about historic sites. For two things, I want to speak about that because that seems to be a big thing. Historic sites. I agree that we need to do a lot of work. For example, I have proposed to the government that the old Parliament building, commonly called the York House, be transformed into a public library and an art gallery for local artists. I believe that should be done using the CBI program. I've presented a proposal. We're trying to do that to get the old York House, which is just sitting there now. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be rehabilitated. And I give a commitment. I see the same Save York House, that York House will be used under my tenure, will be used to develop a national project. It may not be the public library, but that is what I propose. But there's no idea of demolishing York House. I believe we should resuscitate the old Governor General's home. That will be done. I believe that there are historic sites in the city that we need to preserve. But at the same time, they only talk about historic sites. Part of what we need to preserve in the town of St. George is the people. And that is why I have focused over these last years on the people of the town of St. George. And I am happy. Look, you talk about the Backstreet Court. I got a group of Grenadians in New York to put up the 2 basketball nets and backboard. You see there, I did it. Michael Mitchell and some other guys in New York did it. And I say that if she wants to compare what I did with what she did, I await her list.
And we could talk about, while you were in opposition, things that you did in opposition,
You know, a lot of these things I talk about, like the basketball court, was in opposition.
Exactly.
These things are in opposition. So I'm saying that I like when they talk about what Peter do for the town. But more than that, Sheldon, you made a point. Ask the many hundreds of young people and elderly persons and middle-aged persons how I have interacted with them in the town of St. George and developed relationships. I'm not one who go out and say what I do for people. We do it and we move on because the right thing to do, it's a godly thing to do. So if the people of the town of St. George, as I say all the time, they know me. They know me. I don't want to go and tell nobody I do nothing for A, B, and C. I talk about big projects, that is it. But at the personal level, the people in the town of St. George know me. They know we could sit and chat any day, and whatever I could do, I will do. And that, to me, is what a good representative is. Somebody who you can relate to, somebody who can feel where you feel. Now, she talk about she grew up and she's original town. Well, anybody talk. Ask Miss Sandy for them in Foros. Ask Miss Omega and them on the carriage. Ask all these people. You know, the other day I realized I've been in politics 45 years. since I was 15. I'm 60 now. I don't look it, but I'm 60. I probably say I don't look it.
Young fella, man.
It's in GBS.
We're struggling.
I go challenge you to 100 meters just now.
I only run race I could win. You go win now.
Undefeated. Let's just remind the people, undefeated. But we know you've got to run off on us in a little while. And folks, don't be upset with us, because you have to understand, this is a person who spends time representing the poor and vulnerable. If they want to call them the needy and greedy, it's up to them. But I prefer to call them the poor and vulnerable. And this is an individual who represents them. I know I got a message via WhatsApp that says to congratulate you for the work that you've been doing, especially going to court and representing poor people, children, because you don't see lawyers doing that sort of thing. And also, I've been getting a lot of messages on the chat. A lot of people are going to be upset with us. Depot is there. Dapradine, he's there. Every 2 minutes, he's sending another something. Depot is there. Depot is there this morning.
You know, these gentlemen, Depot, I just want to say that many of these people there, these are people who assist us to the tongue of St. George over the years. These are the guys who send stuff. They are authentic Grenadians who happen to be living abroad, and I want to say hi to them in the diaspora. As I said to people, I've lived in the US for 10 years, Canada for 5 years, London for 5 years. And as I say, the further you get away from Grenada, the more committed they seem to be to Grenada. I want to say to them out there that we have to find a mechanism. We have to find a mechanism to make them more integrally involved in the governance of the country.
We have to go back to the formula of the diaspora office, which is something that you led as Minister of Foreign Affairs. We do have a call on the overseas line. Let's quickly take this call.
Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Yes, caller, you've got to be quick because we have a little bit of time remaining. So go right ahead.
Morning, boss. Peter, morning. Listen, you know exactly why they kick you out of the party, because you love people and they can't stand the fact that you love people. But tell them you're in the right place now. And a needy and a greedy, we're taking all 15.
My brother, with respect to all 15, the only way we can take all 15 if we work. We really don't want people to start saying, listen, but we win already and we win already. We don't know. We don't win until, as they say in the US, where you are the fat lady sing. So
we have a caller and it's on a cell phone. So let's take that call.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello? Hello? That could only be Cami.
Cami.
Hello? That phone, Cami, that phone. Give us a call back. Yeah, so we're going to try and take as quickly as possible a few phone calls because he must leave in the next few minutes. He must leave.
Sheldon, good morning.
Morning, my dear.
Sheldon, morning. I am Mr. David.
Hi, morning, my love.
Oh, God, we love you, boy. My college this morning.
I love you more.
And tell him, go and ask Mr. Saniford when they're talking about you. Ask Mr. Saniford if you can go in the street. And go and ask Kami too.
Lady,
must go and ask me.
It's true. You know me sincerely, boy.
We love you.
Love you too,
baby.
I
love you with all my heart.
With all my too. I want to say this, Kami.
Have a good day.
You too, babe. You know,
have a blessed day, boss.
Yes, thank you, Kami. People
and Scotty Fatty gone, Maggie?
Yes, I passed by yesterday.
Fatty gone?
Yes, my dear.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye-bye. I want to say, you know, people like Kami, people I think it's politics. It's not politics. I have known Kami since I was a little boy, 14, 15. I used to drum a lot, African drumming. In 4 roads, all over the country, we used to do African drumming. We used to have a group named Uhuru Foundation. And we used to go around with that. It was really the introduction, along with another group in Tempe called TPYG. And that's where people, Devon, you in that. Devon was TPYG.
That's where I get to know now in Buck.
Yeah, no, but we don't go down that road.
We ain't go down that road now.
Down that road. And
that road bumpy.
And people like Kami, and so it is just a grounding in. She talk about Miss Sandyford. That's Wayne Sandyford's mother. We call her Lady Butt. And these are people who I am extremely grateful to for seeing me through my youth and you know, all of the challenges of the 1960s and 70s, the Black Power movement, the revolutionary movement, and all of that. We could have just as well ended up in all kinds of places, but we kept focused on trying to. The struggle was about Grenada, and you know, one of these days we must write more about that period. But for me, coming through those years of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and all of the various challenges, it has taught me humility. Because you never know where you end up in life. Humility. Today you're up, tomorrow you're done. And I say to politicians, always remember that this, you could end up in positions that you didn't anticipate. And secondly, it taught me always listen to the people. Even if you believe you're right, listen to the people. The people are immensely wise. Because people may not articulate in fine, fancy language, or they might not have university degrees, or they mightn't dress with suit and tie. Their wisdom comes from their living experience. And the people, everybody experiences a different thing. And what they have experienced, we could never experience. So that's why I sit, I listen, and I make adjustments to my own thought process. That's what my father taught me. That's what my mother taught me. They grew up poor, and they made it through. I listened to their wisdom. And that's why I want to say, people like Cammy and Lady Butt and all them people in Tongue and all over Grenada teach me a lot over these last 40 years in politics. This is why I am who I am.
And let me just say, before some people get upset with us on the live there, Lincoln Roberts, good morning to you. Seeing Zingo. Yeah, Zingo saying all kind of things this morning. Zingo busy this morning.
Really cool over.
Yeah. He says that NDC haven't Peter Tabanka. So oh gosh, Colin Nabari, good morning to you, sir. He said ask Lab about Pedro.
And that's no joke, man. That's no joke. Labs could tell you.
Stedlin Isaac is saying what Peter did for the town is he helped the needy and greedy, and he will always do for them. Junior Victor. Junior always talking about crab. Junior, I find you like a real crab, no? Toro, charge. Toro. Well,
tell Depo that Toro say hi.
Yeah, Depo Toro say hi. Toro wrong, you know. Toro there.
He right here.
Ian Edwards, Ezra and Twine, good morning to each and every one of you.
Friend. I tell you about Ian Edwards. There's one of the NMP men who always tell me come at this.
So I could tell you when we were in opposition and we were doing the program one day, Ian comes to me, he says, I get Pedro to come in. I say, man, stop talking shopping. He said, I just always talk with the man, me and the man cool. I always talk with the man. Say, you're joking that man. He say, watch, I tell you, the man come in. And I think that was one of the most listened program that we had when we were in opposition.
Yeah, right.
When you came in, yes,
right,
and that was one of the most listened programs that we would have had while we were in opposition. So a lot of people asking where you was. Tell them where you was. Right. Gloria Coffee Murray Franklin. Murray says you're a boss. Let me see. Kim Run is there as well. Murray Franklin. So I'm seeing a lot of persons, especially a lot of people from the diaspora who say messaging like Gloria Coffee the Gale. She's messaging in from New York and she says keep up the good work for what you have been doing.
Yeah, and
Cathy is saying good morning. Cathy Albert, good morning to you.
Yeah, many of the colleagues out there. Most Grenadians are not instinctively tribal. They love Grenada, especially those in the diaspora. They love Grenada. And any party that is doing proper, they support it. So I want to say to a lot of them who I know supported me when I was in the NDC that I appreciate the fact that they understand why I take the position I take, why I am of the view that the NDC is not the best party to run the country at this time. And that's a simple proposition going forward, Sheldon. Which party, which leader, which group of leaders is best capable for running Grenada? That's what the election is about. And if you answer a question in favor of NMP, some people will say, yes, it's NMP, but I don't like Dr. Mitchell. That's not the question. Liking Dr. Mitchell is if you want to marry him. You understand?
And he married already.
Marry him, and he married already.
Right.
The question is he better to run the country? And the answer, what many people say, and you hear this, and I'm sure everybody out there hear this. But I ain't like Doc, but when you run in the country, thing does happen.
You hear it all the time.
All the time. Well, the thing does happen is what you're voting for.
You're hearing from busmen, you're hearing from people involved in construction, you're hearing from farmers, you're hearing from different people.
And me and Dr. Michelle fight wars.
Serious wars too.
But what is it? But we call it our draw, and we're focusing on Grenada.
And I think a lot of people try to focus on what was taking place and what was said during the war, not understanding that if so much negative things could have been said about you, and so much negative things could have been said about Dr. Mitchell, and two of you could put all of that behind you and say, but forget that, the country is bigger than both of us.
Sheldon, I hear that.
And we have to unify this country. So if I'm trying to understand.
I hear that foolishness. I hear that foolishness all the time, and I have to call it foolishness. Sorry for the use of the word, but let me tell you,
if you have two people who fighting,
And then one day I pass and you see they make it up, they shake hands and they hug one another. You gonna like that?
Yeah.
But what they're saying is, yo, no, stop shaking hands, stop making it up, punch you in the face.
So I try to understand.
The logic is such that what they're doing really is what they're doing is trying to tribalize the country rather than trying to bring the country together. And that, in my view, is something that I find amazing. Listen, me and Dr. Mitchell were in opposing parties. We fought each other. I win, he win, I lose, he lose. At the end of it, we say, listen, because of that fight, Grenada is suffering. Let us reduce the fight. Let me tell you, people believe I come in this thing, I get some. I have not received a salary from this government in the last 5 years.
Salary?
You understand? I do this because I believe in it. People talk about desire for power. I said to Dr. Mitchell, if you want to stay in office forever, it's fine with me. The bottom line is this, that I have lived my life contributing to the society, 40 years of doing it. And I am not the one who ended up in power in the NDC. Who ended up with the power? They're saying I fight for power. Who ended up with the power? I cannot play the game too, you know. I remember the man who is presently in power, he told us one time, he said, listen, I will never oppose Tillman Thomas, you know, because you want to. I told Mr. Thomas the other day that, listen, Mr. Thomas, they make you believe that I am the devil. I'm not the devil. You know, I have always had a good relationship with Mr. Thomas over the years. People know that. It is when they poison his brain about me in order to remove us.
Yep.
That is when the problem started. But anyway, I said to my NDC colleagues out there, fine, come home to the NNP or stay where you are, but vote NNP. That's a choice you make.
Indeed. Let me ask you, because you mentioned something earlier. Is a book in the making? You know that you have a lot of history that you could put that the younger ones who are coming up, because let's face it, we have people who have turned 18 this general election who are, for the first time, these are people, the last set of people that were born in the 1990s, the last set in the 1998, 1999, the last set of people born in the last century are voting for the first time. They don't know what the town of St. George used to look like in 1989, 1998. They don't know what the town of St. George used to look like. They don't know what Grenada used to look like. These people only know, they know going where the bus terminal is now and taking a bus. They know about going in the middle of town, in the market square and take a bus.
Yeah.
They don't know about going by Pitch Pine Bar and sit down and drink a Fanta and eat a roti or something looking over the water. They don't know about that sort of thing. They basically know what's there right now. Are there plans to put these things into writing, your experiences, politically and otherwise, so that the younger ones who are coming up now, the first-time voters, as I said, this is a very, very important election. It's the first time that the last set of people born in the last century will be voting. So it's the first time that they will be voting, and they will have the opportunity to cast a ballot for a representative to represent them and to move things forward. A book in the making?
Well, there's a book in our experience that needs to be made. I want to commend my friend Lincoln Turo Depredine for writing one of these books on White Frocks, Cold Dust, yeah. A wonderful book that has a lot of stories, anecdotes on the town of St. George and all of that. And people like the Riggs, who lives in the U.S.
The Riggs brother, yeah.
Chris's brother, and people like that who've done a lot to write. I think there's need to be written a history of the recent political history, a book on the recent political history of the country. I believe there's a lot. Dr. Mitchell have said to him, and I hope he does it. I mean, we don't have a writing culture in Grenada. And what we need is maybe what they call ghost writers to sit with us and talk, because we may not have the time to do the actual writing. But we need to get, for example, Dr. Mitchell. He has immense experience, not only going back to 1984, but going back to 1972, 1973, when he participated in elections on the GNP ticket. There's a lot of our history that is not written, and they say people who forget the history are destined to repeat it. And I agree with you, there is a book there. But we generally we're too busy. But I want to say, though, that recently there's been much more writing because of the ease of publication. You have all these small publishers now that can do it. But you're right. We need to tell the youth tell the youth what has happened.
They really don't know.
They don't
really
know
don't
the
know.
history.
No one in secondary school right now knows what it's like to take a bus in the bus terminal, in the market square.
Yes.
Nobody in secondary school. Remember, some of them are 17, going on 18.
Yeah.
None of them knows what that is like.
But,
and therefore, we have a responsibility to pass on the information. But as on that as well, we looked at the 1970s, the 1980s, and so into the 1990s, and the different modes of politics. We have the socialism, the capitalism, and that sort of thing. Is that still relevant in the year 2018?
Well, what is relevant is, Senator Gill, some years ago, coined the word, I think, Grenadianism. We get a lot of licks for doing it. Grenadianism, because people said it's not a word. But what we need to do, the Chinese have a model called socialism with Chinese characteristics. And what it essentially is a Chinese form of government. I mean, they talk about socialism or communism, whatever, but it's basically a system that embraces a lot of capitalist models and a lot of socialist models, and it makes it a Chinese model. Mm-hmm. We need to look at our needs, and that is why I believe one of the things that we need to do going forward, Sheldon, and I've said this to Dr. Mitchell before, and I say it all the time, is to really outline that national plan that we started to do. We need to bring the country together to decide our destiny. We need to pull all of the sections of our population together. I've said this, and I say it again here today. If you bring 50 Grenadians in a room and say to them, let's talk about Grenada, let's talk about health and housing and education, they will all agree. Send them back to the room and tell them come in and sit under the party colors, and they start fighting. There seems to be some need to just oppose everything the other party does. So you get into office and you discard Imani, you discard the Lewis Hamilton thing, you discard this and you discard that. Just because it was proposed or implemented by another party. We need to first come together and decide where we want to take Grenada. For housing, for education, for health, for justice, for all these things. And once we decide that, the whole nation pulls together and points in a direction. No, I'm not saying that everybody will agree. But we agree on the broad parameters of what we want to do. So, for example, what is the role of agriculture in our society at the moment? How is it in relation to tourism? Are the two separate, or we need to integrate the two? How do we integrate the two? What is the role of IT? Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore, he made some choices. He decided, listen, I'm going to develop Singapore along these lines. And Singapore, despite its small size, is now one of the most developed Southeast Asian countries. The point I'm making is this. The ism that we have to go to is an ism that we have to develop, not an ism that is imposed on us by outside forces. And that can only come if we focus on Grenada and stop focusing on hating each other. Exactly. We need to come together and say, Devon, I don't care which party you're in, but let's talk about agriculture. Forget what Keith do, or what this one do, or what that do. Let's talk about agriculture. And I believe that Dr. Mitchell has facilitated that. Why do I say that? Because I believe over these last 4.5, 5 years, it's been the least divisive of the periods that we've had. He has conducted politics in a much more inclusive manner than in the past. And for that, I want to give him credit. Now, Dr. Mitchell is not a perfect human being. We all, for it to work, it's not Dr. Mitchell or Sheldon or Devon or Toro or Benji or somebody. It is all of us in the country need to pull together. Stop the opposing for opposing's sake. Correct is right all the time. And that is what I'm saying. Now is the best time for us to do the right thing. Now, as I said, let us decide what we want to do with Grenada. Let us go back to the national plan. Let us sit and talk about the role of agriculture. Let's bring the farmers to sit in a room. Let's bring the youth to sit in a room. Let's bring the teachers to sit in a room. Let's bring the IT people to sit in a room. I saw two men arguing in Miami once. Two guys from St. Andrews. One grew up, agriculture sent him to school. Nutmeg sent him to school, like he said. The other one was born in a city in St. George's. And both of them arguing that one saying agriculture is the best thing, the other one saying technology is the best thing. No, I didn't know the answer, but I'm sure if we sit in a room, we could find a good compromise which says that we can have both agriculture and IT, not one or the other. But we will only have that if we start speaking to each other rather than fighting each other. And the way to do that, in my view, is to encourage the politics of inclusion, encourage all of Grenada. And I'm sure Dr. Mitchell will go back to that plan after the next election, because, I think that plan, where we talk about Grenada, is what is going to develop. When you start about ism, is going to be an ism about Grenada. Maybe Senator Gill's word of Grenadianism will be the one they use.
Indeed, because I asked the question in the context of some people try to give the impression about who is leftist and who is right, and this sort of nonsense. We're in the year 2018 now. And I mean, which party has people that were not involved in the Grenada Revolution?
Not only that, I think...
Which organization in Grenada? You have teachers in schools right now. You have... Which organization have people that were not involved in the revolution? I hear
some of them cussing Chester Humphrey about his ideological position. But they had Chester Humphrey as deputy president in the Senate when he was in the House too. Nobody didn't complain. When Joan Purcell got off the Senate chair and put Senator Humphrey to sit in the chair, she didn't say, no, Chester Humphrey, you can't come up here because their ideological view. It is just opportunism that they choose now to talk about that because they have no other issue. So let them humor themselves. Whether or not leftist, rightist, middleist, whatever it is of no moment. As I say all the time, it matters not if you come from the left or the right. It is where you are now in relation to the people of the country that matters. What do you support, development or backwardness? I don't know about the isms and schisms. I know about Grenada. That's all I know about.
We have to invite you in here again very, very soon. I know the people out there going to vex, but we have to invite you here very, very soon again. We know you have to run off. Any final words? You're being endorsed on Sunday.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people go vex when they realize, when they see the crowd that coming in with Page. All they go vex, eh?
That would be nice.
But I ain't really care.
This election,
I ain't care.
This election is going to be a wonderful election. I think this election is about competence. If I want to say anything in parting, it's this. That this election is about competence. This election about who is best to run the country. This is a serious election. We are, it is as if you're in flight. And you're close to your destination and you just take the pilot and throw him out the window. We have to ensure that we land this plane properly where it's going. And this Grenada is going well. Now, Grenada is not doing perfectly. It is doing well. It is about putting competent people there to ensure that the unemployment further goes down, that the pension arrangements that's been negotiated with the unions come to good fruition, that our education system is developed, that our hospital is developed. It is about these things. I have been in the NNP party. I have been around ministers. Now, each minister, each MP is different personalities. Oliver has a different personality to me. Nikki has a different personality to Delma. All different personalities. But what is great is the team. And the important person in that team is the leader of the team who keeps the team together. And that was the experience of the old government, NDC government, was that you had a leader who couldn't manage the team. And this leader that I have now can't manage his team because it's an unruly team. And, I am saying to the people of Grenada, please, let us keep moving. Let us not take chances. This election is about competence and the development of this country. With respect to Sunday, we are doing a motorcade. Now, here's what we plan. I tell the fellas, it sounds nice. I like the idea. We're going to be leaving the Carnage, that area, about 1 o'clock in a motorcade. We go around the Carnage. So we call on everybody to join it. You don't want to be from town. You join the motorcade. We go around Tantine and we go up Lane. And then we join Gregory Bowen on top of the lane by the top roundabout. And we go down Tempe. And we go through River Road. And we go down River Road, me, Gregory in front, I behind. Then we go through River Road, we stop for a while, have some fun. Then we go by the stadium and we meet up with the boss himself, Dr. Mitchell, and then we'll be waiting by the stadium. And then we headed to Bouchejoux. So we call it, it's going to be nice because you having trucks and people on the trucks. You have some nice artists on the trucks, some nice surprise artists on the trucks.
I want to make my change.
And we going up to Bouchejoux. So I want to invite everybody.
Technical man, you can operate on your own Sunday. I feel I'm missing that man. Oh gosh.
I'm putting out a day off Sunday.
And we're going up to Bishops. We invite everybody to join us. Join the Southeast up in St. Paul's, wherever they're starting. Join us on the Carnage or in Tantine. Join us at any point on the route of the motorcade, but certainly join us in Busheju. As I said, this election, I am excited about it because people are so positive about the future of the country now. You get a positive vibe out there. Of course, there's a small group of people who are haters who will constantly complain.
Will always be haters.
But I get a very positive. I want to keep it this way. I want to keep Grenada going in a positive direction. We have problems to solve, we're going to solve them. So I just want to say to people, love you all. I really want to express my deep appreciation to the people at the town for the support over the years. Not only support politically, but, everybody know the town is my heart and my heart is the town.
Other people go get jealous. I know it have people all over Grenada getting jealous.
Sorry, I want to say to the people throughout the country, they're welcome to be there on Sunday with us, but also I want to express my deep appreciation to the people everywhere I go. I feel, it's and especially to the persons in the NDC who have not expressed any anger with me. There are people in the NDC, some of them, you look at them and they look away, like they vex at me. As somebody called it the tabanka, those who support. But there are people in the NDC who do not even support the NDP, but they show me warmth because they know me. I am the same Peter, the same Pedro that they always knew. So to the haters out there, some of them who turn their face when they see me and say, who is he? And if I was in the party, they won't treat me that way. So stop it. I just want to tell them, stop it. They're going to get high blood pressure and fall long buddha because of me. I good. Just be happy for me. I want to say to my old friends, just be happy for me.
But you're always smiling,
That's the point.
You're like a toothpaste advertisement.
And the second thing to the NLP people who have come into people like you, Sheldon, and the other NLP people, I want to express my deepest appreciation, not only on my behalf, but on behalf of people like Devon and Kami and
Scott Bartholomew,
Messi and Labari and Dixie and Peter and the whole group of them who have come in. Dr. Thomas and received Nadia and Derek James. I mean, I could keep going. Who have come into the party and who have received nothing but love. And my friend Toro here, all of them who are supportive now of the NLP, you understand? And who do it not because of love of self, but because of love of country. And I want to say to the NLP crew, the NLP supporters out there, thank you. God bless you. Thank you for having me here, Sheldon. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. And Dr. Thomas might be up at the hospital. We know certain people, blood pressure might be high after this one.
And
we love you. Don't get vexed. Don't get vexed. Just remember, it's about country first. All right. Honorable Peter David, we'd like to thank you. I'm using the senator. I'll start with the honorable already. Right. Thank you very much. And he's heading off to court right now. You know his court that he's heading off to right now. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more Hard Talk.
Like you don't know what time it is. Rara, listen now. Hey, who they want? Peter, who say Dodgers want? Peter, who they want? Peter, who say Dodgers want? Peter, the tongue of St. George. Peter, who they say they want? Peter, the tongue of St. George. Peter, who they want? So I tell you, wait there, my sister. You know my chop, Peter. All you're doing is blah blah. You know my chop, running your big mouth all over. Election day, girl, is nana. You know my job, Peter. All you're doing is blabbing, only rah-rahing, only morning like a cock, girl, you're crowing. Let me tell you something, change your mind, cause it's not happening. Take your time and come in, hurry, but don't build goodness. So I tell you, wait there, my sister. You know my job, Peter.
All right, folks, yes, so me and Devon, we're back with more Hard Talk, the final 15 minutes of today's program. I'm sorry, because I think it was very important, and me and Devon would agree that it's very important that you heard from Honorable Peter David. So that's why we couldn't take a pile of calls this morning. I know you all were calling, yeah. I saw the phone ringing. But it's difficult. When a man is making such important points and in such a poignant way, it's difficult to interrupt him to tell him, let's take a call. So I hope you all understand. But the phone line's open again. You all could call in and weigh in.
And we will have Honorable Peter David here with us again in the near future.
Yes, definitely we will have him in. So remember, this evening, at 6 p.m., we're heading up to
Junction.
Indeed. I think somebody from up there messaged me just now. They say we starting to jump up from 5:30 in Pomrose Junction down to Latant. So all St. David people,
come on.
Yeah, they're starting from 5:30 in Pomrose Junction, and then they're heading down to Latant Junction for the launch. The launch is at 6 p.m. All right, so remember that, yeah? Right, nice. Somebody sent a list a little earlier, all technical. Man, I know you sent it to know, but it get lost in the conversation now. A list of all the different the radio stations that would be broadcasting later, but generally the usual, I believe WeFM 91.9, 91.5, that's Real FM, 89.5 CRFM, City Sound FM 97.5. So you can look out for the broadcast via those stations on channel 1000 on Flow, online via the Honorable Oliver Joseph's Facebook page, also via the New National Party's Facebook page. You can check on YouTube. Yeah, we have a YouTube link that you can go to, the New National Party. You look for new NNP Grenada on YouTube, and you would be able to find a live link there as well. So all direction you're done, you're getting it on your cell phone, you're getting it on your television, you're getting it on your radio. Yeah, right. And then you will get it in the newspaper afterwards too, because they must broadcast and tell you what take place. Yeah, nice, beautiful. All right. Let me see. My brother, the latter part of the interview is nice. Right. Yes, election is about competence. Yes. Oh gosh, brother man, I can't send that for you yet because I'm still recording. I know I can't stop the recording and send it for you. We'll get in that timing.
Nice. That timing, no worry.
Yes, but beautiful. Because, I mean, you have to look at the difference. Up to this point in time, you have not heard Senator Peter David call anybody name.
No, you see, that's the uniqueness of.
You haven't heard him call anybody name. You haven't heard him make statement like saying that people needy and greedy and them kind of thing.
No, he don't look down to people.
You haven't heard. See? You haven't heard Senator Peter David making statements like.
You got to know your audience. You know, if you're speaking, even you do the pocket meetings. Right. I say something different in River Road and I will say on the Carolina.
But people, that's true, and that's smart and that's strategic. Mm-hmm. But as politicians, though, you have to be careful as well, because there have been some statements ascribed to you, Claudette, that you said somewhere that the NNP people are needy and greedy. Help us out.
I said that in a town hall meeting in New York. I'll tell you why I said that. Because I have assessed what happened now. You would know some people, as I do, who support the New National Party. Mm-hmm. And they will go to the hilt to defend what is, in fact, indefensible. Mm-hmm. Things that are just indefensible. Mm-hmm. They would attempt to defend, right? Mm-hmm. And when you assess, by and large, these people are either affiliated with the New National Party because of what they get. They benefit, right? And that's a fact. I would not retract from what I said because that's true, right?
Yeah, that's what they think of the people at town. That's what they think of the Grenadian people. We may say poor and vulnerable. Yeah, they're saying that the people needy and greedy. I want to know how you know if a person is greedy. How you actually went in and checked the person's bank account and know what their financial situation is?
That's pathetic.
You're seeing the person with the massive house and so, and you thinking now that, look, that person have a lot of money, and you don't know it might only be bread that they eating every day. It might be morning, noon, and night might be bread.
Hot cup of tea, and that's it. Bread.
And maybe sometimes they can't even put sugar inside it, They just have to boil the bush so. Yeah, but you look at them and you call them needy and greedy. That's the sort of thing. Yeah, and it went quite up in New York. quite up in New York, you go and make them kind of statement.
To my mind,
relate to people and all others, and people of all walks of life. A friend of mine likes to say we have two kinds of people who tend to follow the other side, the needy and the greedy. So, and to some extent, that is correct.
Yeah, that's the kind of people that putting themselves forward. I mean, this is what they call in people who leave the National Democratic Congress. Yeah,
must confess that some of it was partly their doing, because there were some very naughty brats inside the NDC who could not wait their turn for power.
But you know, I mean, listening to her, right? She have no idea, right, as to what went. Or if she had an idea, she was definitely in cahoots with those of them who led the expulsion. You see, because I cannot understand how persons like her
didn't come out before. That's something new that came out today.
Yeah, as to the depth that she was in.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't know that she was a part and
right
parcel
in
of
there,
the NDC all the time.
Right in there. And you heard the former general secretary speak of it.
You can say the general.
Yeah, an advisor, right, and a financier of NDC as way back in the 90s. You understand?
But they're trying to give the impression now like they was never
wrong
involved before and they just appeared.
And there was approach to join and everything like that. No, that's not true. Tell the people the truth. Be honest. Right? And let the people know where you were, and the stand that you are taking now is something that you were comfortable with way back. So it's nothing new.
It seems to be a thing with all the NDC candidates to call people different names and so.
Yes.
I wonder,
there
Robert.
appears to be indications that NDC had a meeting with the Public Workers Union on Sunday. Can you give us some clarity on that? Did that actually happen? And if so, what was the meeting about?
Well, I really don't entertain unintelligent questions. Why would the NDC meet with the Public Workers Union? It's a very unintelligent question. I mean, the person who posted it on the Facebook, I consider him a semi-illiterate. And the internet is open to people like that.
Yeah, you see, that's the kind of attitude that the people that want to put themselves out. So when you ask a question, if they were ever, although it didn't go up, but if they were to ever get the opportunity to be in charge of you, that's the kind of thing. If they don't agree with the question that you ask, they call you a semi-illiterate, a person with a university degree. The person they're referring to is actually a person with a university degree, yeah? Who has shown competency in the job that they are doing for several years under both governments.
And you respond to them in that way.
And then I hear a certain man saying he doesn't call people name this morning. Let me remind people.
Some paid operatives saying all kinds of things on the radio. Yeah, one of them called Panames. We're going to deal with him in due time. I ain't going to say nothing about him today. But we got his file. He's on the radio making a set of noise. We got his file. And we will strip him naked in public. When the moment comes. I will say no more on that at this particular...
Panames, you walk with your extra clothes.
Well, I always have my extra clothes. But I want to send a message for Venus in Burke. You see... You will wait a very, very long time to see me naked. That's all I got to say.
Oh, boy. Watch, I close the program there.
He's a disgusting gentleman because he went on radio this morning and television.
He doesn't call people names. No,
he doesn't call people names.
Oh, I have saved the file. Yeah. I'll play the clip tomorrow. Oh, no, we can't play tomorrow. Tomorrow is... Folks, just to let you all know, tomorrow we have a Senate sitting. So the Senate will be sitting. That's a good thing. It just came back to me because I was so seeing it as Friday. So there's a Senate sitting tomorrow. So tune in. We're not saying don't tune in. Tune in. It may or may not be the final sitting of the Senate. And so Senator David is going to be there. And you have Senator Steele, Senator Garris, Senator Moses, Senator Cox, Senator Lewis. All right, on the other side, you have the other Senator Lewis. Yeah, at least that Senator Lewis on the other side worth something. They're making sense. I don't know what the other person used to be doing inside the parliament.
Labor representative.
I could say that. I used to sit down inside there across from him. Don't tell me nothing. I could say that. Right. Leave me alone. Right.
Morning, Senator Andre Lewis.
Ray Roberts was the
doing,
biggest
sir?
waste of time in the Senate between 2013 and now.
Here and next one they call Senator Clouden.
And the other three doesn't appear.
Oh.
That doesn't be there. So you can't really say there's a waste of time because they doesn't spend their time to be there.
Hit and run. I'm calling on the Royal Grenada Police for the traffic department to charge these 3 senators with hit and run. That's all they do in the Senate, you know.
How about the one who say $800?
They come and hit and run.
The one who say $800 is not enough for gas.
You understand? I wish you had something into the Senate to revoke the appointment. You understand? For disrespecting the Grenadian people.
Will revoke their appointment soon enough.
Yeah, very soon.
Yeah, but then you understand when they have this kind of political problem, when their own candidates, and you see, Honorable David spoke of something. He said that how within the party itself you have senior people. He said within the party itself you have senior people who ain't really want that leader.
No, they don't. Yeah.
Boy, I concede Nas constituent. This is a man that argue with me every time we see each other. Boy, I love the party, but I can't take Nas. And I ain't voting for NDC, I just not voting.
That is the man they are running up in St. David are talking there, you know.
But I hear
he ain't persuading nobody with that.
But I hear my man decided to come and listen to the rally this evening.
Well, they could come.
Because
they might learn something.
And let's learn something. I think the man trying to push a little support that he has to sway them away to come and vote for NNP.
Yeah, let me hear it again.
We all Grenadians.
Boy, I concede Nas constituent. This is a man that argue with me every time we see each other. Boy, I love the party, but I can't take Nas. And I ain't voting for NDC, I just not voting.
Anyway, I get a message there about a shop in River Road that they had a NDC meeting by. The people say, come and pay all your bill. Anyhow, right, moving forward.
But that's not the only shop. Oh my God.
Yeah, the people in River Road say, come and pay all your bill.
Come and pay all your bill, eh?
It didn't have to reach here if only they go and pay all your bill. Go and pay all your bill in River Road. Right? Nice.
Yeah, and the person was about to call and say it on the radio, but we stopped them. We don't want to create that sort of embarrassment for our fellow Grenadians.
I'm sorry, but
we had to.
I get the message out of it.
Yeah,
it has certain people in NDC who don't want the leader, because if your political leader is causing you problems instead of being, in other words, they're a negative instead of a positive towards your campaign, well, I would now want them around too.
Oh, NDC is a good party. Miss Annie is a nice lady. Andal is a good boy. But Nazim. Ask them one question. Tell me what Nazim has done wrong.
We could go down that list, but we don't have enough time for the rest of the day. That list is real long, man. That is long, you know.
One thing I could tell you he would never see, or he never get a chance to do, to see me naked.
Yeah, that list long, like when Andre Donald cook broth, the water, anything that's long.
I didn't say that. No?
I call Andre Donald name. I say it.
Sorry.
I say it. I call Andre Donald name. When Andre Donald cook broth, the water that's long.
But I find the opposition, the senator. I mean, I had to say that, you know. I find the senator looking like he's going on the next side, you know. Why you want to see me? Why you want to see me naked, sir?
But it's not just that. I mean, look. Even Mr. Simmons was complaining on behalf of all 4 in St. Andrew. St. Andrew people are seen all in St. David later, right?
Of course.
So let me hear
what that's a quality of the team.
Are there any real concerns about the leadership of your organization?
Of course.
Because it seems to be cropping up a lot.
Of course, you get that feedback all the time. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able to deal with it. Okay. Now, you will go certain place in the constituency and in the parish, and they will say to you, okay, well, I don't mind voting for you, but I can't vote for Nas. My issue is that, okay, you can't vote for Nas, but in the first instance, it's not Nas you're voting for. Mm-hmm. You're voting for Simmons, or you're voting for Hilaire, or you're voting for Philip, or Qualis. Mm-hmm. So, but Nas is a leader. Yes, of course. But I'm saying to you too that if you have strong representation within your parish or within your constituency, then whatever negatives you've seen there, the negatives could be able to be managed. Mm-hmm. And not only that, we have to take into context too that.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, we had to take into context. All right. Yeah, we had the rest of that next time. But yeah, I mean, a man who say he doesn't call people no name and all kind of thing. Yeah, I remember when he do this one. Let me see. Somebody just remind me on the chat there. Let me see if we could find this one. Nice.
It is not enough as a prime minister to be behaving as a gutter rat. You know what I mean? We must not be playing these little nasty games.
Yeah, I wonder who you are. Yeah, you calling people gutter rat.
Yeah. It is not enough as a prime minister to be behaving as a gutter rat. You know what I mean? We must not be playing these little nasty games.
But then so does the leader, so does the children too.
As a matter of fact, when you look at those patterns, you wonder if the Prime Minister himself is not suffering from some form of mental illness, because his pattern are the patterns of a psychopath. And that's how I would label him. He is definitely a psychopath. He's a bungaway train.
Now, we heard the political leader, the NDC, say this morning, basically. And we hope it means that you're going and discipline Django, eh? We hope it means that you're going and discipline Django. Because Brenda Batiste asked you the question direct, and I have you on tape and your response. And so if I see Django on any platform, I am going to play exactly what you said today. Yeah? Because you basically say that people can't be allowed to do that kind of thing. But I like how you try to worm your way out of it. Eh? Because you try to say now that on their personal profile and thing they could say and that kind of thing. And in other words, trying to give the impression it was not saying on the NDC platform. He's an NDC representative and he was speaking in relation to politics. In fact, he's a senior NDC representative. And to be making those sorts of statements is representative of you, Victor Nazim Burke, Nazim Victor Burke, Burkey, Buck, wherever they want to call it, they want to call it Uncle Buck, wherever they want. How come they call all kind of people uncle this, uncle that, and they can't call him nothing?
No, he don't deserve uncle.
Like nobody know in the family?
At all.
You can't reach as an uncle at all, boy?
Ray Roberts is another disrespectful one again. Put a muzzle on him too now.
Yeah.
Calling people all kind of names, and let me hear what you're saying about Ray Roberts.
So who calling people brat? You calling people gutter rat? You're calling people Panamas.
Yes, you want to strip them naked.
You want to strip people naked and all kind. I don't know why you would want to strip a man naked.
A man naked? Why you want to strip me naked?
That's between you and Devon.
I mean,
all you know each other long.
You know, I have women, I have children. Come on.
All you know each other long.
You can
from
ask.
Since children days.
If you want, you can ask, sir. You can ask to take out my shirt or something.
If you want to strip Devon, you know where you know. You know Devon from since all they were children. I don't know. So you are your reasons you want to strip him naked and you want to do it in public.
In public?
Maybe you want everybody to see something that you might know of or you hear of or whatever. I don't know. But I ain't taking part. But when you make statements like that, though, you are inciting your followers to certain types of behavior.
Exactly.
Which is as disgusting as it gets. It is reflective of you personally as an individual. It is reflective of the campaign that we know that you are going to launch and then wash your hands off and say, it's not me. You know, little children, everybody playing cricket in the road. You hit a ball, the ball break a glass. Everybody, including the fellow who was batting, say, it's not me. Nobody know who bat the ball and hit it. But you know it's them children you see playing cricket there. You know who you see batting and everything, but it's not me. Right? And that is the same behavior the NDC right now, behaving like little children.
But they are kids.
It's not me. They're doing thing. They're accusing people of stuff. They're doing their nasty campaign. They're going house to house saying all kind of thing about people. And next week, they're going to come and attack people online saying all kind of nasty things about them. Put out all kind of programs and so saying all sort of nasty things about people. And the thing is, they're looking at residual effect. They're hoping that these things can help them in the short term. So by the time they end up in court, for saying it is long after the election. And that is the intention of the National Democratic Congress, apart from ensuring that they disrupt polling on election day. I'm sorry, I could not have gotten through to ask Senator Burke that question this morning, but I'll ask it again because I'm hoping somebody corners one of them to ask them in an open forum where it can be recorded. Is it the intention of the National Democratic Congress to disrupt polling on election day?
Please
I'm going to ask
sir.
that question once again. Is it the intention of the National Democratic Congress to disrupt polling, specifically in any box, any polling division that they realize the NNP is going to win? Is it their intention to disrupt the process on that day and cause the NNP people to get frightened, to get tired, to get weary, and to leave and not vote? But listen, I never get weary yet. Come election day, we will be voting.
Yes.
Rain could be falling.
We voting.
Sun could be shining.
We voting.
Earthquake could pass.
We voting.
We voting on election day. Let nobody stop you from casting your ballot. That's what they want to do.
Nobody.
because they know that they down. They know that they go in.
They know they
They
down.
know they down and they go in. But they know that there's a chance that they can still do it if you don't come out and vote on election day. So are you registered?
Are you?
It's 12 after. Oh, it's 12:06. Yeah, we had to go. Yeah, so it's 12:06 today, the 23rd day of January 2016. Are you registered?
Are you?
Have you checked to make sure that your friends, your family, your workmates and all, yeah?
Your spouse in your house.
Your schoolmates,
Yes.
people that you go to school with.
Your children.
The bus driver you just take the bus every morning to go to school and to go to work and so with. Have you made sure that those people are registered as well? Make sure they register and make sure on election day they come out and they put that vote next to the house of the new National Party. You don't have a lot of time left. Yeah, today is 1 day less.
1 day less.
The election date will be announced on Sunday, and the possibility is that you will not have another day after that to register. Get registered right now. All right? And this evening, we know where we're going.
We heading to Latin.
Yeah, we know where we're going.
Latin.
We go end as we start.
Yeah.
Tap the screen, tap the screen. Show them everyone.
So who wanna vex and say that how we enjoying ourselves?
Too bad.
Your face go bust later. I could tell you this though, when the messages are being delivered by the various speakers, when you hear Senator Peter David speaking, you realize, look at the crowd. They're standing and they're listening. Any of the speakers, they're standing and they're listening. But when the time comes for enjoyment, we enjoy. We're a party of love. And that's how we can build Grenada with love. You see, the Love Man was here today. That's how we could build a party. That's how we build a country, with love.
With love.
That's all the time we have today for Hard Talk. It's been wonderful being here with you. And we want to be speaking to and with you.
And not about you.
My name is Sheldon Scott.
I'm Devon Romain.
And we are out of here. See you in Latant, 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah. We head into Latant.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
Parliamentary Elections Office records increase in number of persons registering. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the National Report, I am Rakisha St. Louis. The Parliamentary Elections Office says as of December 31st, 2017, there were more than 75,950 persons registered, a figure which is higher than that for the corresponding period prior to the 2013 general elections. Ferdinand Phillip, voter and civic registration officer at the Parliamentary Elections Office, says in the last week there has been an increase in the number of persons seeking to get registered or seeking transfers to their current constituency. He says the office is pleased that young people are showing an interest in the process.
More than a year ago, now up to date, we have recognized that the message has really caught on among the 18 to 21 year olds, which is the pretty prime category that we are targeting. There are persons in the upper age limits that are getting registered that we still have to get out there. But of course, we know every day persons are turning 18 and going forward. And so we must commend our young persons that some persons, at the day that they turn 18, some of them actually come to get registered. So to me, the message has really, resonated among this age group. They have grasped the importance of it, and they are making use of their democratic right.
Mr. Phillip is urging those who have not yet registered to do so within the time left. Once the date for elections is announced by the Prime Minister, the Governor General will issue writs for each constituency, and once these are issued, registration will cease. For those who registered and were fingerprinted during the 2013 election cycle, Mr. Phillip says they will not need to re-register since their information is already in the database.
So these persons do not have to go and get registered again. They are in the system. So once you would have voted during the last election, you are in the system. But I want to, don't just take my word for granted. As I say, we have a system in place which, caters, for the convenience of every voter. And even if you are senior, or maybe the computer is not your thing, and you may have some friend, you may have a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, a child who can get onto the system and just check.
Persons can visit the website peogrenada.org to ensure their names are on the voters list. As Grenada edges closer to an election date, the new National Party administration continues its candidacy launch in the various constituencies. Last Thursday, the train moved to the west of the island, and the parish of St. Mark got to display all its uniqueness as its representative of over 10 years, Dr. Clarence Modest Kerwin, was presented. The streets of Victoria quickly became a sea of green and white as supporters and traditional mass paraded. Dr. Modest Kerwin said her years of service to St. Mark is as a result of unwavering love and support for her constituents.
We do not say it with arrogance. It is not a boast. It's a love thing. They cannot understand it, brothers and sisters. They say, all you stupid, all you voting for me. But where the love is, that is where all you're going to be. Where the caring is, that is where you're going to be. When we listen to the fishermen and the farmers, brothers and sisters, and the sick people and the young people who need some guidance, that is where the love is. It's a love thing between me and St. Mark. I don't have to bribe them. We take care of them. We do not have to bribe them.
She highlighted some of the government's successes within the parish.
We refurbished the Victoria Fish Market. New cold room. For the first time, St. Mark's had ice-making machine, brothers and sisters, so we didn't have to go anywhere else. Neither by my brother Dabs, neither by my brother Dabrio to get brother Boson to get ice. So you could say it's nothing, because if you're not a fisherman, if you're not a fisherman's son, and if you don't care about the fishermen, you could say it's nothing, but for the fishermen it's a big, big thing. And for us, and the Minister for Fisheries, it was a big landmark, brothers and sisters. Let's keep moving for the new National Party. We give hope. So we fixed that, the fish market. I spoke about the daycare center. Expansion of the Bonnet Government School, brothers and sisters. And road improvements throughout the length and breadth of the parish. We have made it easier. Somebody said where donkey was afraid to go, no car and ambulance pulling up and pick you up. That is keeping moving, brothers and sisters.
The NNP train moves to St. David on Tuesday to launch candidate Oliver Joseph. Grenada is set to benefit from a $20 million investment project targeting the sugarcane industry. During a meeting of the House of Representatives on Friday, Agriculture Minister Honorable Yolande Bain Hosford said the project will reshape the dyeing industry. The multi-million-dollar project will be undertaken by Cane Co., a private company.
A couple nurseries were developed so that you can get the plans for the moving the industry forward. We hope that in the near future, which may be this year, moving into 2019, we will see the distillery coming into being at conference, and I know that our farmers would benefit tremendously from this project. It's a $20 million investment, and this is something that we must cherish, and we must make sure that it goes well.
Grenada's agriculture sector is moving in the right direction. That's according to the Marketing and National Importing Board's Chief Executive Officer, Ruel Edwards. He says 2017 was a successful agricultural year for Grenada, with these successes projected to continue into 2018. Edwards also attributed most of the successes in the sector to the contributions and the investments made by the Keith Mitchell-led administration since assuming office in 2013. MNIB and the government conducted a robust review of the sector and highlighted ways to boost its ability to drive sustainable growth and development. Now, the records can show that there has been a complete turnaround of the industry.
The amount of farmers that we do business with In 2012, we were contracting, doing business with just about 1,200 farmers. As of the end of 2017, we had over 2,100 farmers on register that we were purchasing from on an annual basis. That has been a substantial increase in the amount of farmers. In 2012, we purchased 2.5 million pounds of produce per annum on an average basis. In 2017, we purchased close to 4 million pounds of produce. That has been an increase by over 1.5 million pounds of produce. In terms of the average price per pound in 2013, the farmer was receiving on average $1.09 per pound. At the end of 2017, the average price per pound moved to $1.59. So in all those three areas, we have shown a massive increase or substantial increase in those three areas.
Moving forward, Edwards explained the use of more market-required levels of production will be applied. This means production will no longer be done before market demands are obtained.
The key thing for us and for this country and for agriculture is that the farmers ought to cooperate and provide the information so that at least we know. Grenada is 100,000 people. We have market opportunities in a range of produce. We don't believe that we are supplying all that is required for local consumption. We have room, but it requires orderly, structured production. And so we want to make an appeal as we go forward into this new cycle and into this new dispensation of working more with those farmers to capture those information so we can better plan production so that the hotels can be satisfied, the supermarkets can be satisfied, the vendors can all be satisfied, that we can have consistency throughout the entire year. We think that is one of the areas where we are going to be doing some more work.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
Data reveals that rats and other rodents are responsible for the transmission of many diseases. In Grenada, the most common is leptospirosis, and it can cause your death. This disease is directly related to rats and mice infestation. Signs and symptoms of lepto, as it is commonly referred to, are high fever, headache, chills, muscle aches, vomiting, jaundice, and abdominal pain. If your home had or is infected with rats and you have any of these symptoms, please check with your doctor immediately. Declare war on rats. Starve them. Kill them. Rats are the most unwelcome guests. Reduce, control, eliminate them. This is a message from the Ridge to Reef Project, protecting biodiversity and ecosystem functions.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell created the excitement needed for former West Indies wicketkeeper batsman Junior Murray as he celebrated his 50th birthday with a special charitable cricket match at the National Stadium on Saturday. Sharia Noel has the details.
Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honourable Keith Mitchell picked up 2 key wickets on Saturday when his 11 came up against the Junior Murray 11 during the former West Indies wicketkeeper batsman's special cricket match to mark his 50th birthday. Despite the inclement weather, the game, which took the form of a charitable event, will benefit the Grenada National Patient Kidney Foundation. The Junior Murray 11 comprised key veteran West Indian players like Thomas Kentish, Darren Sammy, Afi Fletcher, Andre Fletcher, Sir Kirtley Ambrose and Brian Lara. The highlight of the game, however, was Dr. Mitchell taking the wicket of both Brian Lara and Darren Sammy. Junior Murray 11 took to the crease first and posted 168 in the allotted 20 overs, and the Prime Minister's 11 then took to the crease but only made it to 12.3 overs with 74 runs on the board before the rain forced an abandonment of the match.
Excellent turnout, that the people that came out to support Junior and his 50th birthday activity, I think it is important. It's a way of showing for someone who has given a lot of service to his country, someone who has made a lot of sacrifice, and who has done a lot for us. And a lot of times we do not really promote the people that have done enough for us. And so I thought that crowd today coming out to happening in our country, where we become more appreciative of those who have sacrificed and made contribution. We had an excellent game and having like, so I think it's also a good sign. Unfortunately, it's obvious that our present structure of West Indies cricket is letting down the players and letting down the people. Hopefully one day, sooner or later, that will change.
You were able to pick up wickets. You looked good out there. How does it feel actually? I think you would have gotten Lara.
The only reason I could be out there is because of my regular fitness. And I think it's important to keep preaching the word that one must take care of the bodies. I couldn't be out there at 70 years without constant exercise and watching what you eat. And also hypertensive, so I watch my blood pressure consistently. So I think the message out there, being out there today with a younger guy.
Both Darren Sammy and Sir Kirtley Ambrose applauded Dr. Mitchell for his continued support to the sport of cricket and the assistance given to Junior Murray in staging the event.
There was a game recently, Windward Islands versus Trinidad. They were not, the amount of people I saw today did not equate to what that was there last weekend. So congrats to Junior, congrats to the government for putting an excellent event, and yeah, I have to get him out one time, the next time.
When I heard I was coming against the Honorable Prime Minister, I couldn't say no. But truth be, I mean, to be honestly, I really am happy to be here. And of course, in Grenada once again, I'm no stranger. I'm going to see Prime Minister as well.
How do you feel about cricket in the region? Do you think that there is still hope based on what you're seeing here?
Of time to talk about it, because we can hear until on next week, you know. No, but generally, I mean, the cricket is very, very bad at the moment. It's very painful. I mean, knowing where we once as the best team in the world to where we are now, from now to the top, at least to be competitive.
Junior Murray was the first Grenadian to make the West Indies cricket team. For the National Report, I am Sherry Ann Noel.
And that's the National Report. I am Rakisha St. Louis.
Every election campaign is full of old talk and grand promises. Let history be your guide. Is who likely to better perform in government. Election is not about choosing perfect. They are about choosing the best one offer. Vote competent. Vote the NNP.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, $70 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Between 2014 and 2017, $185 million was spent on scholarships for youth. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choice. Between 2008 and 2013, 1,265 youth engaged with the GIAP. Between 2014 and 2017, 3,725 youth engaged with the Amani program, with a spend of over $190 million. So let's keep moving. Vote NNP. Vote competence.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. Between 2008 to 2013, the economy regressed every year. Between 2014 to 2017, the economy grew every year. Vote competence. Vote NNP.